Not long until kick-off for this Premier League clash between Leicester and Tottenham. It has been 11 days since the Foxes last played after their fixture against Burnley was postponed, leaving them with 4 games in hand over the top 4, which they lie 12 points behind. Brendan Rodgers makes 5 changes from their 4-1 win over Watford in the FA Cup, as Ward, Brunt, Daly Campbell, Perez and Barnes all drop to the bench. Spurs are unbeaten in their last 8 league games and have won 6 of the last 10 head-to-heads with Leicester. However, they were beaten comfortably over 2 legs by Chelsea in the League Cup, which may dent their confidence of the squad heading into this game. Antonio Conte names 3 changes from the second leg defeat, as Galini, Doherty and Lo Celso are replaced by Lloris, Reguilon and Skip. So the lineup's in full. For Leicester, it's Schmeichel in goal, a back 4 of Albrighton, Soyuncu, Vestergaard and Thomas. Tielemans, Chowdhury and Dewsbury Hall make up the 3-man midfield, with Maddison playing just behind the 2 strikers, Daka and Lookman. For Tottenham, it's Lloris in goal, a back 5 of Emerson Royal, Tanganga, Sanchez, Davies and Reguilon. Skip, Højbjerg and Winks make up the midfield, with Kane and Lucas Moura leading the line. Not long until kick-off for this Premier League clash between Leicester and Tottenham. It has been 11 days since the Foxes last played after their fixture against Burnley was postponed, leaving them with 4 games in hand over the top 4, which they lie 12 points behind. Brendan Rodgers makes 5 changes from their 4-1 win over Watford in the FA Cup, as Ward, Brunt, Daly Campbell, Perez and Barnes all drop to the bench. Spurs are unbeaten in their last 8 league games and have won 6 of the last 10 head-to-heads with Leicester. However, they were beaten comfortably over 2 legs by Chelsea in the League Cup, which may dent their confidence of the squad heading into this game. Antonio Conte names 3 changes from the second leg defeat, as Galini, Doherty and Lo Celso are replaced by Lloris, Reguilon and Skip. So the lineup's in full. For Leicester, it's Schmeichel in goal, a back 4 of Albrighton, Soyuncu, Vestergaard and Thomas. Tielemans, Chowdhury and Dewsbury Hall make up the 3-man midfield, with Maddison playing just behind the 2 strikers, Daka and Lookman. For Tottenham, it's Lloris in goal, a back 5 of Emerson Royal, Tanganga, Sanchez, Davies and Reguilon. Skip, Højbjerg and Winks make up the midfield, with Kane and Lucas Moura leading the line. Not long until kick-off for this Premier League clash between Leicester and Tottenham. It has been 11 days since the Foxes last played after their fixture against Burnley was postponed, leaving them with 4 games in hand over the top 4, which they lie 12 points behind. Brendan Rodgers makes 5 changes from their 4-1 win over Watford in the FA Cup, as Ward, Brunt, Daly Campbell, Perez and Barnes all drop to the bench. Spurs are unbeaten in their last 8 league games and have won 6 of the last 10 head-to-heads with Leicester. However, they were beaten comfortably over 2 legs by Chelsea in the League Cup, which may dent their confidence of the squad heading into this game. Antonio Conte names 3 changes from the second leg defeat, as Galini, Doherty and Lo Celso are replaced by Lloris, Reguilon and Skip. So the lineup's in full. For Leicester, it's Schmeichel in goal, a back 4 of Albrighton, Soyuncu, Vestergaard and Thomas. Tielemans, Chowdhury and Dewsbury Hall make up the 3-man midfield, with Maddison playing just behind the 2 strikers, Daka and Lookman. For Tottenham, it's Lloris in goal, a back 5 of Emerson Royal, Tanganga, Sanchez, Davies and Reguilon. Skip, Højbjerg and Winks make up the midfield, with Kane and Lucas Moura leading the line. Not long until kick-off for this Premier League clash between Leicester and Tottenham. It has been 11 days since the Foxes last played after their fixture against Burnley was postponed, leaving them with 4 games in hand over the top 4, which they lie 12 points behind. Brendan Rodgers makes 5 changes from their 4-1 win over Watford in the FA Cup, as Ward, Brunt, Daly Campbell, Perez and Barnes all drop to the bench. Spurs are unbeaten in their last 8 league games and have won 6 of the last 10 head-to-heads with Leicester. However, they were beaten comfortably over 2 legs by Chelsea in the League Cup, which may dent their confidence of the squad heading into this game. Antonio Conte names 3 changes from the second leg defeat, as Galini, Doherty and Lo Celso are replaced by Lloris, Reguilon and Skip. So the lineup's in full. For Leicester, it's Schmeichel in goal, a back 4 of Albrighton, Soyuncu, Vestergaard and Thomas. Tielemans, Chowdhury and Dewsbury Hall make up the 3-man midfield, with Maddison playing just behind the 2 strikers, Daka and Lookman. For Tottenham, it's Lloris in goal, a back 5 of Emerson Royal, Tanganga, Sanchez, Davies and Reguilon. Skip, Højbjerg and Winks make up the midfield, with Kane and Lucas Moura leading the line. Not long until kick-off for this Premier League clash between Leicester and Tottenham. It has been 11 days since the Foxes last played after their fixture against Burnley was postponed, leaving them with 4 games in hand over the top 4, which they lie 12 points behind. Brendan Rodgers makes 5 changes from their 4-1 win over Watford in the FA Cup, as Ward, Brunt, Daly Campbell, Perez and Barnes all drop to the bench. Spurs are unbeaten in their last 8 league games and have won 6 of the last 10 head-to-heads with Leicester. However, they were beaten comfortably over 2 legs by Chelsea in the League Cup, which may dent their confidence of the squad heading into this game. Antonio Conte names 3 changes from the second leg defeat, as Galini, Doherty and Lo Celso are replaced by Lloris, Reguilon and Skip. So the lineup's in full. For Leicester, it's Schmeichel in goal, a back 4 of Albrighton, Soyuncu, Vestergaard and Thomas. Tielemans, Chowdhury and Dewsbury Hall make up the 3-man midfield, with Maddison playing just behind the 2 strikers, Daka and Lookman. For Tottenham, it's Lloris in goal, a back 5 of Emerson Royal, Tanganga, Sanchez, Davies and Reguilon. Skip, Højbjerg and Winks make up the midfield, with Kane and Lucas Moura leading the line. Not long until kick-off for this Premier League clash between Leicester and Tottenham. It has been 11 days since the Foxes last played after their fixture against Burnley was postponed, leaving them with 4 games in hand over the top 4, which they lie 12 points behind. Brendan Rodgers makes 5 changes from their 4-1 win over Watford in the FA Cup, as Ward, Brunt, Daly Campbell, Perez and Barnes all drop to the bench. Spurs are unbeaten in their last 8 league games and have won 6 of the last 10 head-to-heads with Leicester. However, they were beaten comfortably over 2 legs by Chelsea in the League Cup, which may dent their confidence of the squad heading into this game. Antonio Conte names 3 changes from the second leg defeat, as Galini, Doherty and Lo Celso are replaced by Lloris, Reguilon and Skip. So the lineup's in full. For Leicester, it's Schmeichel in goal, a back 4 of Albrighton, Soyuncu, Vestergaard and Thomas. Tielemans, Chowdhury and Dewsbury Hall make up the 3-man midfield, with Maddison playing just behind the 2 strikers, Daka and Lookman. For Tottenham, it's Lloris in goal, a back 5 of Emerson Royal, Tanganga, Sanchez, Davies and Reguilon. Skip, Højbjerg and Winks make up the midfield, with Kane and Lucas Moura leading the line. Not long until kick-off for this Premier League clash between Leicester and Tottenham. It has been 11 days since the Foxes last played after their fixture against Burnley was postponed, leaving them with 4 games in hand over the top 4, which they lie 12 points behind. Brendan Rodgers makes 5 changes from their 4-1 win over Watford in the FA Cup, as Ward, Brunt, Daly Campbell, Perez and Barnes all drop to the bench. Spurs are unbeaten in their last 8 league games and have won 6 of the last 10 head-to-heads with Leicester. However, they were beaten comfortably over 2 legs by Chelsea in the League Cup, which may dent their confidence of the squad heading into this game. Antonio Conte names 3 changes from the second leg defeat, as Galini, Doherty and Lo Celso are replaced by Lloris, Reguilon and Skip. So the lineup's in full. For Leicester, it's Schmeichel in goal, a back 4 of Albrighton, Soyuncu, Vestergaard and Thomas. Tielemans, Chowdhury and Dewsbury Hall make up the 3-man midfield, with Maddison playing just behind the 2 strikers, Daka and Lookman. For Tottenham, it's Lloris in goal, a back 5 of Emerson Royal, Tanganga, Sanchez, Davies and Reguilon. Skip, Højbjerg and Winks make up the midfield, with Kane and Lucas Moura leading the line. Not long until kick-off for this Premier League clash between Leicester and Tottenham. It has been 11 days since the Foxes last played after their fixture against Burnley was postponed, leaving them with 4 games in hand over the top 4, which they lie 12 points behind. Brendan Rodgers makes 5 changes from their 4-1 win over Watford in the FA Cup, as Ward, Brunt, Daly Campbell, Perez and Barnes all drop to the bench. Spurs are unbeaten in their last 8 league games and have won 6 of the last 10 head-to-heads with Leicester. However, they were beaten comfortably over 2 legs by Chelsea in the League Cup, which may dent their confidence of the squad heading into this game. Antonio Conte names 3 changes from the second leg defeat, as Galini, Doherty and Lo Celso are replaced by Lloris, Reguilon and Skip. So the lineup's in full. For Leicester, it's Schmeichel in goal, a back 4 of Albrighton, Soyuncu, Vestergaard and Thomas. Tielemans, Chowdhury and Dewsbury Hall make up the 3-man midfield, with Maddison playing just behind the 2 strikers, Daka and Lookman. For Tottenham, it's Lloris in goal, a back 5 of Emerson Royal, Tanganga, Sanchez, Davies and Reguilon. Skip, Højbjerg and Winks make up the midfield, with Kane and Lucas Moura leading the line. Not long until kick-off for this Premier League clash between Leicester and Tottenham. It has been 11 days since the Foxes last played after their fixture against Burnley was postponed, leaving them with 4 games in hand over the top 4, which they lie 12 points behind. Brendan Rodgers makes 5 changes from their 4-1 win over Watford in the FA Cup, as Ward, Brunt, Daly Campbell, Perez and Barnes all drop to the bench. Spurs are unbeaten in their last 8 league games and have won 6 of the last 10 head-to-heads with Leicester. However, they were beaten comfortably over 2 legs by Chelsea in the League Cup, which may dent their confidence of the squad heading into this game. Antonio Conte names 3 changes from the second leg defeat, as Galini, Doherty and Lo Celso are replaced by Lloris, Reguilon and Skip. So the lineup's in full. For Leicester, it's Schmeichel in goal, a back 4 of Albrighton, Soyuncu, Vestergaard and Thomas. Tielemans, Chowdhury and Dewsbury Hall make up the 3-man midfield, with Maddison playing just behind the 2 strikers, Daka and Lookman. For Tottenham, it's Lloris in goal, a back 5 of Emerson Royal, Tanganga, Sanchez, Davies and Reguilon. Skip, Højbjerg and Winks make up the midfield, with Kane and Lucas Moura leading the line. Well, we'll leave that there because we're now underway for this Premier League game between Leicester City and Tottenham Hotspur. Both sides in their usual home strips. Leicester in their blue shirts and white shorts, playing from left to right. Tottenham in their white shirts and dark blue shorts, playing from right to left. It's myself, William Maxwell, and alongside me today, of course, Sam Wright. And Sam, I think we're both thinking it's going to be quite a tight affair.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Spurs are unbeaten still in the league under Antonio Conte, so that's certainly something they have going for them. But Leicester, of course, did beat Liverpool in their last Premier League outing, albeit that was just before the new year. But I'm expecting a very interesting game and hopefully some goals.
Yes, fingers crossed. We're going to have plenty of action to take you through. And there's Leicester just playing it around the back at the moment, with Vestergaard finding Thomas, and an all-good ball back towards the Danish defender, forcing him to go back towards Schmeichel. We'll just run you through the lineups once again if you did miss them in the earlier preamble. So for Leicester, it's Schmeichel in goal, Albrighton, Soyuncu, Vestergaard and Thomas in defence. Tielemans, Chowdhury and Dewsbury Hall, the midfield 3, with Maddison playing behind Daka and Lookman up top. For Tottenham, it's Lloris in goal, a back 5 of Emerson, Tanganga, Sanchez, Davies and Reguilon. Skip, Højbjerg and Winks make up the midfield 3. Kane and Lucas Moura lead the line today for Spurs, as Dewsbury Hall has just been adjudged to have handled that pass by Højbjerg, so will be a free kick awarded by the referee. Today is Jonathan Moss. It'll be Sanchez that picks the ball up here from Tanganga, deep inside their own half for Tottenham. Davies now looks to make his way forward, finding Reguilon on the left-hand side. Pressure by Albrighton, and it comes off the Englishman last for a throw-in for Tottenham on this near right-hand side. Reguilon going back towards Davies, who in turn is going to play it back towards his goalkeeper, Hugo Lloris. One of 3 changes made by Tottenham from their last outing in the Cup, of course. Their rather disappointing defeat to Chelsea in the League Cup. Didn't have the greatest performances over the course of those 2 legs. As Winks, that's a lovely pass by him to find Skip, and now Skip will make his way forward, finding Emerson Royal on the right-hand side. Maybe the first real opportunity here for either side. Skip gets across in, blocked by Dewsbury Hall again, out of play for the first corner kick, and well, at the moment it's all Tottenham.
Yeah, good start by Tottenham. Good ball, like I say, from Winks into Skip. Good break forward in the end, out for a corner, and let's see if Leicester can be put under pressure. They've got a poor record defending set-piece this season, so Tottenham, this is an area they might be looking to exploit.
That's very possibly. It's going to be the Spaniard, Sergio Reguilon, who comes over to take this. Tanganga, Davies, Kane, Sanchez, all in and around the 6-yard box away for. We've also got Emerson, Højbjerg and Lucas. The ball comes in, headed away by Patson Daka at the near post. Goes back towards Reguilon. Second ball in, aiming towards Sanchez. It will fall to Winks on the edge of the area, who gets a header towards goal, but it's going to be brought back anyway for a foul by Jaglar Soyuncu. Or on Jaglar Soyuncu, I should say. So it'll be a free kick for Leicester, which Schmeichel takes quickly and sees Thomas on the left-hand side, who had space to move into, but instead decides to cut back and go back towards Vestergaard. Now with Soyuncu again, towards Hamza Chowdhury, held up by Lucas Moura. Once again, Leicester just slowing down proceedings, really. Lucas Moura trying to put the pressure on, and Soyuncu again goes back towards Schmeichel. Leicester doing all of their passing in around their defensive third at the moment, really struggling to break through the Tottenham midfield in these early 3, almost 4 minutes gone of this game. Tielemans will find Maddison, and this patient build-up might actually pay dividends here for Leicester, as Thomas finds Lookman on the left-hand side. Taking on Tanganga, goes back towards Maddison, held up by Winks this time, has support to his left in Dewsbury Hall, who gets out of his feet. It's a dangerous ball in towards Daka, who on the stretch just couldn't quite get enough contact onto it to divert it towards goal. It spoons off his shin, and in the end it's going to be cleared away by a mixture of Reguilón and Højbjerg, but it's a very clear opportunity that though for the Foxes.
First we've seen from Leicester going forward, really good ball in. Daka gets a touch on it, just not enough though to turn it goalwards, but again, encouraging play there from Leicester. Maddison's been in really good form recently, 4 goals and 3 assists in his last 6 league games, and we saw him there spreading play really well. A good chance for Leicester, the first we've seen from the home team. Yes,
and maybe that'll just grow their confidence slightly as Dewsbury Hall once again kick-starts a new attack, finding Lookman on the left-hand side, held up by Emerson Royal, goes back towards Dewsbury Hall. Now here's Tielemans around the midway point inside the Tottenham half. Lookman again with a little bit of space to move into on the left-hand side, but he was well doubled up by a mixture of Emerson and Oliver Skipp. Thomas with a 1-2 with Dewsbury Hall, and the patience of Leicester once again forces them to go backwards with Soyuncu. Chowdhury on the halfway line, pressure by Lucas Moura, goes towards the left-hand side in Vestergaard. Once again, we'll find Thomas, support in Lookman, who instead tries to dribble his way through a gap, and he's got away from Skipp, and then Lookman does really well on the slide to keep the ball in play and poke it back towards Yannick Vestergaard again. A little over 5.5 minutes gone in this game, listening to unofficial off-tube studio commentary. Leicester City 0, Tottenham Hotspur 0. It's given away though by Tielemans. Now Kane will look to come forward, finding Skipp. He tries to break away from Thomas, goes down, appealing for a free kick. Nothing awarded by John Moss, which I think was the correct decision, as Dewsbury Hall now gets away from Winks and finds Lookman on the left-hand side. Only really Daka to aim for in the area. Tries to go back towards Dewsbury Hall. It's a misplaced pass, though, by Adamo Lookman. Skipp goes back towards Winks, and then the pass from Winks is poor, straight into the path of Thomas. And, well, Leicester really putting Spurs under the cosh at the moment. The cross into the area intending for Maddison, cleared away again by Davinson Sanchez this time. Once again, it will be picked up by the Blues, and, well, after it was a bright start in the opening 2 minutes or so from Tottenham, they're really struggling to get a hold of the ball.
Yeah, Leicester doing well at the moment. Really good spell of possession. I'd say putting Tottenham under a lot of pressure, and I think if Leicester get one of those key passes right, they can certainly create an opportunity there. It's Soyuncu's pass forward, though, goes astray, but good spell at the moment from Leicester and a promising start for them.
Yes, very, very promising indeed from Leicester. So as we just see another replay of that cross from Dewsbury Hall, it's a wonderful delivery by the young Englishman on that left-hand side, and Daka maybe just a half a yard off the pace on the stretch, couldn't quite get the desired contact to divert it towards goal. If he gets on target, I think it would take quite a magnificent save from Hugo Lloris to keep it out from such close range. And here is Vestergaard now in possession for Leicester City. Spreading it towards Thomas on the left-hand side. Now here's Dewsbury Hall, back towards Thomas once again. Held up by Skipp. Has he been able to keep the ball in play? No, it was good pressure there by Oliver Skipp. And the throw by Emerson Royal will find Højbjerg. Support in Davies on this left-hand side. Goes back towards Sanchez. Maybe a chance for Tottenham just to hold on to possession and work their way forward, as we see Antonio Conte inside his technical dugout trying to bark some further orders at the North London side. Here is Davies on the left wing, away from Daka. Højbjerg now with Sanchez. Very slow build-up from both sides in their attacks as Tanganga breaks away from Lookman, and he'll hold on to possession as well. Supporting Kane to his left, tries to thread it through to the number 10. It's cleared away, falls to Højbjerg. Maddison with the sliding tackle. Soyuncu then makes a clearance only as far as Lucas Moura. Back towards Skipp. Here's Winks. Now with Davies on the left-hand side. He will try and hold off Maddison, then goes back towards Reguilón, away from Albrighton. Højbjerg. Kane on the edge of the area, gets away from Chowdhury. Could be an opportunity here. Kane away from Soyuncu. Harry Kane, oh, it's cleared off the line. Fantastic defending there at the back post by, I think it was a Luke Thomas in the end, tracking back, stopping a certain goal by the England striker. Tottenham hold on to possession on the halfway line, so attack still technically not over, but what fantastic defending there by Thomas.
Brilliant defending, really good play by Harry Kane. That was Harry Kane at his best, gets it onto his left foot. You just expect the ball to hit the back of a net. Brilliant defending by Thomas, considering as well he's backpedaling towards his goal. It could have gone in for an own goal. Great defending by the left back, and it's still 0-0.
Still 0-0, and it is Tanganga who goes back towards Harry Winks. In turn is just going to hold on to possession deep inside his own half under no real pressure. Will now find Davinson Sanchez. Sanchez finding Davies. Now with Kane, it's a poor touch again by the Tottenham number 10, and then the pass is sliced rather fortuitously, falling to Højbjerg, but now Sanchez picks up proceedings once again, and now Winks to bring this ball forward for Tottenham Hotspur. Winks finding Lucas. Here's Højbjerg. He can bring this ball forward. Højbjerg now towards Reguilon. Kane, 1-2 between the two, and then it's going to be easily cut out by Chowdhury, putting the ball out of play for a throw-in. Yes, it was a wonderful effort by Harry Kane, but in these opening 10 minutes or so, you can't say his passing's been up to scratch.
No, his touches have been really poor and loose, to be honest. Last time I said that was Kane at his best a moment ago, working space for an effort, getting the ball onto that left foot as well. But no, other than that, though, his touches have been very loose. We noticed a couple in the middle of the park a moment ago, and it's been happening with Kane a lot this season, and again, so far dropping deep, but nothing's really coming off with the passing, as you say, at the moment. But Spurs, that's the first big chance of the game for them, I'd say, so far, and they're now there on top all of a sudden.
Yes, they really are, and Winks will now find Skipp on the right-hand side. Skipp making his way forward. Will find Emerson back towards Winks again, finding Lucas Moura. He now finds Davies. Davies towards Reguilon, away from Maddison, and I think he's been caught by Hamza Chowdhury actually in the process, so it will be a free kick on the edge of the area, around 20 yards out. It's a sloppy tackle by Chowdhury, initially clipping the left heel and then comes right through the Spaniard again. It's a stonewall free kick in what is a prime Harry Kane shooting area.
Yeah, poor free kick to give away that by Chowdhury. Really, I don't really get why he's done it. Reguilon's going away from the goal. He's taking it to the left-hand side, and all of a sudden he fouls him. And a very good area for Harry Kane, as you say, suits a right footer as well. And expect Schmeichel might be tested here.
Yes, it could be a real danger moment for Kasper Schmeichel and for Leicester. Kane and Højbjerg, the two players standing over this one, but it looks ever more likely that it is going to be Harry Kane that will take it, as Davies and Sanchez also stands in the wall to try and make themselves a bit of a nuisance for the Foxes' defence. But Schmeichel is a very adept goalkeeper, experienced, has kept that number 1 shirt for many, many seasons now. Here is Kane, tries to go round the ball, blocked by Soyuncu. And it'll be Thomas that hammers that ball up rather than away. And the second time of asking, it'll be Dewsbury Hall that looks to find Lookman, who gets away from Skipp, and he'll try and break forward. That's wonderful tracking back there by the midfielder, Oliver Skipp, to win possession back, and then Lucas plays it back towards Skipp, and Tottenham will hold on to possession. Not the greatest of efforts there by Harry Kane. It was always looking likely he was going to hit the wall.
Yeah, said I expect the goalkeeper to be tested. It wasn't the case, really. It's a poor free kick, quite tame into the wall, and they cleared away. But again, you mentioned there Skipp. What a challenge that was going back. Fair play to Skipp. He's had a really good start to the game, the Spurs midfielder, and Spurs right now, they're on top. As I say, they give the ball away in a dangerous position.
Yeah, poor play there by Emerson Royal, and it'll be Daka that lays that back towards Soyuncu. Maddison away from Højbjerg. It's intercepted by Winks, and he'll find Harry Kane to bring this ball forward. He's got the overlap in Reguilon to his left-hand side. He'll utilise him as well. Reguilon back in towards Kane. The clearance by Tielemans came off the number 10, and it falls kindly into the arms of Kasper Schmeichel. Bit of pinball stuff in the area. Could have gone anywhere, and rather fortuitously for Kasper Schmeichel and for Leicester, it ends up with the Leicester captain.
Yeah, Reguilon's usually so good at them sort of crosses in that position, but he just doesn't really get that one right. We see the goal line clearance again by Thomas. Oh, brilliant defending that was. Fair play to the left, but there. No, that one though, a little bit of luck involved. I think took a ricochet, and luckily for Leicester, it ricocheted through to Schmeichel.
Tottenham in possession at the moment on the edge of their own penalty area. Davies finding Reguilon, going back towards Lloris, who's going to be put under pressure by Ademola Lookman. Lloris's little clipped ball forward will find Højbjerg, and now Lucas Moura with a bit of a hospital pass really for Harry Kane, easily cut out by Soyuncu, and now Maddison tries to play the ball through towards Lookman. Not the greatest of balls through there, although you always have to say the run of Lookman was never looking likely to get around Davinson Sanchez. They're really missing the likes of Iheanacho and of course Jamie Vardy today, missing due to the Africa Cup of Nations and with an injury respectively. Here is Skipp on the right-hand side for Spurs, back towards Winks inside their own half. Davies on the left-hand side, bringing this ball forward under no real pressure or duress. Will find Reguilon back towards Sanchez. You see space for Tanganga on the right-hand side, and he'll utilise him as well. And what can Japhet Tanganga do? He's going to go back towards Skipp. Leicester really just focusing on holding their position rather than putting any Tottenham player under any real pressure. It's making it quite easy for Tottenham to hold on to the ball.
Yeah, absolutely right. Tottenham enjoying a good spell of possession. When Leicester do get it, we do see examples like Maddison a moment ago. Good chance to play the ball through. But here comes Spurs again. There were a chance with Reguilon. Good challenge by Chowdhury. But yeah, every time Spurs certainly look the more better in possession at the moment. But Leicester do have that threat of Maddison. He's capable of threading a ball through, and Daka and Lookman will always be on the move.
Yes, it was like you say, it was a decent challenge there by Hamza Chowdhury. He was appealing for a goal kick, but it's gone against him, and it will be a corner for Tottenham Hotspur, which Harry Winks will be the man that comes over to take this. As we see more pictures of Antonio Conte trying to organise his side. He's made them far more defensively resolute. However, the attacking play has sometimes left a lot to be admired. As Kasper Schmeichel and Davinson Sanchez have a little handshake. Sanchez, I think, maybe accidentally standing on the toes of Kasper Schmeichel. Although it was actually Yannick Vestergaard who caught him there, bit sore. It wasn't too long ago where we saw Fred standing on the toes of David De Gea, who of course went down, and Arsenal managed to score from that as play resumed. Schmeichel this time doing what a goalkeeper should do and getting straight back up until the danger is alleviated. So Winks will now take this corner kick towards a near post, flicked on by Lucas Moura. He can't direct it towards goal, but it will be kept in play just about by Emerson Royal, but he can't find a man in white. Sanchez tackles back on Albrighton, and now Højbjerg getting away from one, finding Kane, the back heel, intending for Højbjerg again, will be intercepted by Dewsbury Hall. He can't keep it in play. It's going to be yet another corner kick for Spurs.
Yeah, to say Leicester haven't been great at defending corners all season, but Spurs is so far, the quality hasn't really been there. They've not really beat the first man. Lucas Moura got a flick on there, but it was never really dangerous. But the more corners Spurs have, the more they will fancy their chances.
Yes, they really will, although that back heel from Kane didn't look like it was going to give much in the way of danger for Leicester. Dewsbury Hall with a heavy touch, gifting the corner kick for Spurs. That's a better delivery in towards Kane, just on the edge of the 6-yard box. He never really gave himself much of a backlift or much of a jump to try and head that ball, just let the ball fall onto his head, really. Yes, he was under pressure from Thomas, but he sends his effort over the crossbar. Could he have done better there, Sam?
I think he could have a little bit, really. Looking at it, the ball drops to him. He's not really under much pressure, but his header, though, like you say, doesn't really let it drop. He just kind of goes for it. He goes for a looping header, and that's always going over. But yeah, I think Harry Kane in that position, not really under a lot of pressure. It was a good corner as well. I think Kane would have fancied himself to do better there.
Yes, we've played around 16 minutes now of this game. We'll be keeping up to date with the 8 o'clock kickoff as well between Brentford and Manchester United, which you can also listen to on our service. As Sanchez gets away from Dewsbury Hall, back towards Skip now. Sanchez, bit of space here for Ben Davies to possibly utilise on the left-hand wing. Davies looking for a runner. Doesn't have any, but he will go short towards Højbjerg. That's a decent pass by the Dane to find Harry Kane. Skip now brings the ball forward. He'll look to go for goal. Once again, it's blocked by Thomas, who seems to be everywhere, really, for Leicester. Another important deflection from him, but it's yet another corner kick.
Yeah, good play there. For again, Højbjerg into Kane, out to Skip, and again, Thomas with some good defending, stands tall, and again, if it's him and Vestergaard, really a combination of the two. Another corner, though, for Spurs. They're piling up in the opening 17 minutes.
They really are, and the deliveries are just slowly improving. Their last one actually managed to find the head of a Tottenham player in what was a decent area of the field. Can they do it again, though, with Reguilon? Decent delivery, flicked on at the near post, believed by Patson Daka, who can only put it out for another corner kick, this time on the opposite area this time. Harry Winks will be the man that comes over to take this on this near left-hand side. It'll be a Michael cleared away. There's still a man down for Leicester City, and I think it's going to be Thomas that has to receive some treatment. But it's another really big opportunity for Harry Kane again, who's having a far better start to this game than we've seen in recent weeks. And that one, well, it really could have ended up in the back of the net, and arguably should have.
Yeah, Kane just not getting the goal. I mean, it's a really good delivery again, and Kane in that area, you've got to say, he's probably got to be scoring. It cannons back off the crossbar, and in the end, Spurs kind of get away with it, really. I guess Schumacher goes to punch the clearance away. I don't think Sanchez has done an awful lot wrong. He's competing for it. There's a collision, but usually the goalkeeper will get that decision. And, of course, there's a man down as well in Vestergaard for Leicester at the moment. But for Harry Kane's standard, though, again, another really good chance with a header. It hits the crossbar, but for me, again, Kane probably should be scoring by his standards.
Yes, especially when it's in and around the 6-yard box, as Yuri Tielemans has gone over to get some more orders from Brendan Rodgers, as we still await
the treatment of Luke Thomas. Gareth Southgate in the stand today, watching on. Obviously, Harry Kane will be one of the main players he'll be looking out on. Then you've got maybe players on the periphery, such as James Maddison, and Harry Kane will be one of the main players he'll be looking out on. Then you've got maybe players on the periphery, such as James Maddison and Harry Winks. Do you think there could be any outside shouts for players such as Tanganga or Luke Thomas in his World Cup squad?
It's great that he's here watching. I mean, it's always a chance to impress the manager, of course, and I think Thomas has had a good start to the game so far, and Tanganga is a player who's never really broken into this Spurs 11, but he's starting to get a few more appearances recently, but I think it's dinner difficulty any of them breaking in anytime soon, but it's certainly a chance to impress the England manager.
Yes, and it's been well documented of the sort of real problem area for England is the centre-back positions at the moment. We've got plenty of quality in and around the other areas of the field, but defence is somewhere that can always be looked to improved upon, so maybe Thomas and Tanganga could feel like they could maybe just force their names into Southgate's reckoning. As Tielemans finds Maddison on the right-hand side. Here's Ademola Lookman, held up by Tanganga. Is that a fair tackle? Yes, says Jonathan Moss. Tanganga then brings this ball forward, held up by Tielemans. And then he's been fouled there by the Belgian midfielder. Tanganga tried to find Højbjerg, but he was already fouled, so it's going to be a free kick for Tottenham Hotspur. I don't really think Tielemans could have much complaints about that.
Yeah, good play by Tanganga, brings the ball out well, and in the end wins his side of free kick as well. Really good play from the centre-back. Of course, recently had the very unfortunate incident against Chelsea when he headed the ball against Ben Davies and it ended up in the back of the net. But yeah, it's a good play there by Tanganga. I think he's had a pretty good start to this game.
He's had a very solid beginning as Skip goes back towards Emerson Royal. Now picking up possession is Tanganga. Going back once again for Hugo Lloris this time. Lloris will take his time and find Sanchez. She's getting a stat on our screen. It's 92% possession for Tottenham in the last 5 minutes, which is really just outlining their dominance in this first half so far, but they're yet to get that goal to show for it as Davies plays a 1-2 with Højbjerg, somehow holds on to possession and finds Lucas Moura on the edge of the area. Looks to try and get away from Soyuncu. Lucas Moura, great dribbling, good effort, good save as well by Schmeichel, getting down low to his left-hand side. It was a decent, comfortable height for the Danish shot stopper, but still a save that had to be made.
Yeah, good play by Lucas Moura. Really had to work hard to work his way for it, to get his way to a shot, and in the end, Schmeichel equal to it. Like I say, good height for the Danish goalkeeper, but yet another corner for Spurs, and that stat of 92% possession in the last 5 minutes really does, like you say, sum up their dominance in the game at the moment.
Yes, it's their sixth corner of the game now, taken short this time by Reguilon, playing a 1-2 with Emerson Royal. Reguilon then looks to float the ball in towards the back post. It's Davinson Sanchez. Oh, he really should be scoring, or at the very least hitting the target there. Sanchez inside the 6-yard box, essentially unmarked, really untroubled by any lesser defender. He gets his head onto it, and he can only guide his header into the side netting.
Absolutely, what a miss that is. I thought that was in for a moment. Good ball by Reguilon. He is onside, Sanchez as well, been played on by Mark Albrighton. Scored the winner, of course, I suppose, his last Premier League game against Watford, but he's got to be scoring there, Sanchez. I don't know how he's put that one into the side netting.
Yeah, poor there by Davinson Sanchez. Expect better of a player of his quality, particularly in the air, as Thomas goes back towards Vestergaard under pressure by Harry Kane. That's a poor ball though by Vestergaard. Intercepted by Højbjerg, who then breaks down the left-hand side, watched by Hamza Chowdhury. The dribbling is somewhat poor, though, by Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, and that's going to be easily running out of play for a goal kick. And, well, Leicester, they just need to find some composure from somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. Højbjerg not really known in that position, of course. He never really looked comfortable dribbling with that ball, to be honest. Just seeing the chance again for Davinson Sanchez. Oh, yeah, he's got to be scoring that. What a miss that was. But, yeah, Højbjerg in that position on the moment ago, though, yeah, it's not really his position. He kind of saw that by his footwork as well.
Yes, very much so. We are actually past the halfway point of this first half. It's Leicester City 0, Tottenham Hotspur 0, and taking you through the remainder of the first half action into half-time will be Sam Wright.
Much will, and it's Schmeichel in possession who goes out to Vestergaard. Thomas on Leicester's left-hand side lays it forward, and a good play by Lookman, who lays off Shrewsbury Hall, who can now bring the ball forward. Chance for Leicester. It's been rare recently. It's a ball in, it's towards Lookman. Daka gets it. That's a Lookman. Oh, good break on. Back to Daka. It's in, and Leicester City have taken the lead, and it's Patson Daka, and against the run of play, it's got to be said they've scored a break forward. Very much a lot of fortune in the goal. It fell to Daka, and well, he made no mistake, and wow, Leicester against the run of play, lead 1-0 at the King Power Stadium.
Looks like you have the Midas touch when it comes to the commentary and the chances. Leicester getting the opening goal completely against the run of play, you must say. And like you mentioned, Sam, it's very fortuitous how it comes about. It's a decent break forward by Dewsbury Hall. It initially looks like Lookman's taking it off the toes of Madison. He's then tackled by Reguilon, but it falls so kindly to Patson Daka, who's continued his run forward. He's definitely onside, and Lloris maybe arguably goes down slightly too early, which gives Daka that sort of opportunity to pick his spot, but take nothing away from the finish. It's a really calm, composed finish on the stretch inside the 6-yard box, and he put it basically in the only real place that he could put it in order to score. And Leicester, well, they'll take that goal any day of the week.
Absolutely. Leicester, they've been under so much pressure in the last 5-10 minutes or so. It's just one of them. Reguilon just can't really clear it. He just gets something on it, and I think he's expecting another defender or the goalkeeper to get it. Daka reacts first and gets there, and it's 7 goals in 10 starts this season for Daka as well. So he's certainly taking his chances up front, and obviously when you got Jamie Vardy when he returns, he's always hard to take out this Leicester team. But Daka, if he carries on scoring, might be the case. And Leicester come forward again with Dewsbury Hall with a shot. It's blocked though by Tanganga, and well, last thing Spurs want to do is concede a second immediately after conceding, especially with how well they have played in the opening 25 minutes. But Leicester were in possession, but Emerson Royale clears it forward, and Soyuncu will get there. No, he'll leave it, and it'll go out of play for a Leicester throw. Just the goal Leicester needed, really, though it's got to be said. They were under a lot of pressure, but from their only attack, really, in the last 10-15 minutes, they've scored, and that's going to do them the world of good.
Yes, and it's going to be incredibly infuriating as well for Antonio Conte, because up until that point, I'm sure he would have been very happy from what he's seen from his side. Tottenham defensively have offered Leicester nothing. Granted, Leicester themselves hadn't really created a great deal nor put them under enough pressure to really create any opportunities. But then going down the other end, they've created some really clear-cut opportunities. Yes, Harry Kane's one. It's unfortunate. It's cleared off the line. It's good defending. But then you've got 2 crosses going into the area, one where Kane hits the bar. With a player of his talents, he should be at least hitting the target and realistically scoring from that area. But probably even worse of a miss was Reguilon's cross into Sanchez, unmarked, untroubled at the back post, couldn't even hit the target. So Tottenham at the moment, they've only got themselves to blame.
Absolutely, and Leicester are in possession still. Leicester do actually have a score to settle with Spurs after last season, the final game of last season. Spurs did beat Leicester 4-2 at the King Power Stadium, and that game did cost Leicester a place in the Champions League, and that also earned Tottenham a place in the Europa Conference League, which of course have now been eliminated from, and they've won the ball back in those Spurs with Kane. Kane into Lucas Moura. Lucas Moura goes to the right-hand side to Emerson Royale. Not the best pass, though. It's good defending, actually, there by Lookman to get back and help out the defence. Spurs with a little chance to break forward there, but in the end it kind of come to nothing, and they've wasted it.
They really have. They just need to regain their confidence and their composure after going behind. Need to find that passing play and that intensity that they shown in the opening 20 minutes that were causing issues for this Leicester defence and this Leicester side, which is really it's very threadbare. They force Brendan Rodgers into any sort of tactical changes, be it through injuries or from poor performances. They could easily capitalise on errors, but at the moment they're just not doing enough to keep Leicester under the cosh.
Sanchez out to Tanganga. Tanganga was going to Winks, but instead he does go back to Sanchez just in front of the halfway line. And he finds Davis making his 250th appearance for Tottenham Hotspur today. Sanchez to Skip. Skip looking for options forward. He will go into Royale, who finds Kane. Kane on the edge of the area, loses out though, and Leicester again win the ball back with Tielemans. Here's Maddison. Maddison looking for options, but instead Leicester looking very composed at the moment compared to Spurs. Got to be said, whenever they're in possession, there's very much a calmness about them, and that goal has certainly upped their confidence.
Oh, definitely so. They started the game relatively brightly, and then they sat off Tottenham and invited pressure, but that goal has really just put an extra spring in their step. They're looking to take on players more. They're passing it around with a bit more freedom, and they're stretching this Tottenham side, making them do a little bit more of the running and causing more and more issues. And I mean, under both Nuno Espirito Santo and under Antonio Conte, this Tottenham side over the course of this season, they have been there for the taking as one of the so-called Big Six sides. They're probably one of the ones that, if you're looking on paper, a side would think, yeah, we could probably get something from that game, if not win it. And at the moment, Leicester, they're full of confidence.
Well, Spurs, despite haven't actually lost a game in the Premier League since the end of October, a 3-0 defeat to Manchester United. That was at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, but they do trail here. Maddison goes forward, the ball's cleared away, and there's going to be no foul given, but the ball falls to Højbjerg on the edge of the area, who finds Davis, who can clear his lines, looking for Reguilon. Chowdhury steps in well. and then both men competing for the ball, and that decision's going to be a Tottenham throw-in. It is a Tottenham throw-in in the end. Michael Brighton certainly doesn't agree with the decision. Of course, Leicester have got plenty of injuries at the moment, as Will did mention. Very much a makeshift back four. I mean, Michael Brighton playing at right back, of course, as well. Brendan Rodgers, they will be delighted his side are leading, where they've not exactly been on top for the majority of the game. Sanchez finds Tanganga in the Spurs defence. Back to Sanchez. He plays out to Davis. Spurs very much playing a back three. Davis been on that left side of it a lot this season, into Lucas Moura. Good burst forward from him onto Højbjerg. Højbjerg crosses, and Schmeichel will just about claim it. But again, Højbjerg on that side never really looks convincing in that left flank, does he?
No, he's a player that's brilliant in the centre of the midfield. But if he moves out to either wing, he's very much sort of in no man's land. He doesn't know always what to do in and around that area, and that was a real indictment of his particular style of play. It wasn't the greatest delivery there from the number 5. He was just the wrong man at the wrong time, really, for Tottenham.
Yeah, Reguilon would have been much more promising in that area. So speaking then, Will, good break forward from Dewsbury Hall, but in the end it did come to nothing. He's had a very bright start to the game, the Leicester midfielder. And Winks can find Skip. Championship winner, of course, of Norwich City last season. He goes out to Tanganga, who goes back to Skip. Sanchez, just inside his own half, will find Davis. Spurs plenty of possession at the moment, plenty of possession in the opening half an hour really, but yet to turn it into a goal. Here is Skip. It's out to Tanganga. It's a good play from him. He will find Emerson. I know it won't. Dewsbury Hall with some good play, and he wins a free kick. And again, good play again from Leicester and Dewsbury Hall. It's got to be said right now. They're doing quite well in this game.
Yeah, they're doing more than enough to cause Tottenham issues, and they're holding their own. Yes, they've had some shaky moments in their defensive third, but I mean that goal in particular has really just brought them up a gear or two, and now they're looking more and more like the dominant side. And well, Tottenham are just going to have a spark of quality from somewhere in order to try and, reduce this deficit just to get back on level terms.
Yeah, good play from Daka, who holds it up well and finds Tielemans. Tielemans out to Dewsbury Hall. He finds Thomas. Thomas down to Lookman on the left-hand side. Attempting to maybe cross on the edge of the area. He'll go back to Tielemans. Tielemans to Daka. Daka tries to work it onto that left foot. He does find Tielemans again. Out to Dewsbury Hall. Dewsbury Hall to Thomas. To Lookman just on the edge of the area. Got a few Spurs players with him. We just find Daka. Daka back to Lookman, just too much on it, and it goes out for a goal kick. But good patient build-up play from Leicester. In the end comes to nothing, and we see there an applause from their manager, Brendan Rodgers.
Yeah, I think it was the right idea by Leicester, in particular by Patson Daka. He just made the pass a tad too early for Lookman to get on the end of it. But if he makes that pass, Lookman's going to break further into the area, and well, knowing him, he probably would have gone for goal from quite a tight area of the field. But they're breaking through this midfield line of Tottenham Hotspur with far more ease than they were in the beginning of the half, and that's going to be infuriating from Antonio Conte. And if it remains this way and Tottenham continue to defend the way they are going into half-time, there might be quite some tense words from the Italian at half-time, should we say.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, the last thing Spurs want to do is concede another as well, which if Lookman was played in then very much could have been the case. Here's Højbjerg, taking the ball just over the halfway line. He's got Davis as an option, but instead he checks back. And Winks plays it back to the number 5. Goes out to Tanganga. Tanganga still in possession. And it's ball back to Winks. I don't think Winks expected that. He's going to have to back off and actually Robin take the ball. It's Lookman. Daka on one side. He's going to play through. It's not the greatest ball though, and Sanchez just about gets there. Back to Maddison. The attack's still on for Leicester. Maddison holds it up. Finds Dewsbury Hall. Thomas. Back to Dewsbury Hall. Spurs certainly have enough bodies back now, but Leicester still in possession. Maddison has a go. It's not a bad effort. It's a good save by Hugo Lloris, actually diving But yeah, good play by Leicester, but Spurs, what a mess that was originally. Really, Winks not expecting the ball. They just about got it away, and then Maddison there, really good striker. Hugo Lloris has to make a good save.
Yeah, that came out of absolutely nothing, really, those opportunities. With Lookman, it was the right pass at the wrong time for Daka, and it was well intercepted by Tottenham. But that effort there by Maddison almost catches Lloris off guard. It's got plenty of pace and power behind it. It's flying towards that left-hand corner, and Lloris showing why he's still regarded as a world-class goalkeeper, flinging himself to his left-hand side. It's a strong wrist as well to palm the ball out for what I think is the first corner kick for Leicester.
Might well be, and they're taking it quickly, and Winks will get there first. He's running out for another corner, so it'll be Leicester's second corner, also be taken by Maddison. That effort Maddison had a moment ago is very similar to a goal he scored against Spurs actually in September 2019, and a 2-1 victory for the Foxes at the King Power Stadium. It was the winning goal that day for Maddison as well. Number 10 is going to take another corner on the near side for Leicester. They've taken the last one quickly, and it didn't really come to anything, and now a chance to maybe get one into the Tottenham area. Maddison's take it. It's going to Soyuncu at the back post, and his header is going to be kept in by Daka, I believe. No, it's actually gone out of play, but not a bad delivery. Soyuncu, they're always hard to get an effort on goal from how far out he was.
Yes, I mean, it probably falls to the wrong man there, really, for Leicester. I mean, Soyuncu, yes, he's great in the air, but he's being marked by two players, and he's timed his jump wrong, or at the wrong time anyway, the Turkish defender. He's coming down when he actually makes contact with it, so it's always going to be spooned high into the air, and well, it was comfortably dealt with in the end by Tottenham. But on another occasion, better delivery, better timed run, could easily have been 2-0.
Absolutely, so like I say, maybe just timing his jump all wrong there. It was actually closer for him than I thought it was. But his header not really going towards goal due to how badly the run was timed. And here's Kane who lays it off to Skip. A chance for Spurs to come forward now. Skip through to Lucas Moura. He finds Lucas Moura. Great goal by Michael Højbjerg. Makes it round him though. And it's great goal line defending again by Leicester. I think it was Marco Brighton this time. How has he kept that out? Brilliant defending by the veteran. He's a makeshift right back today. And now both of Leicester's fullbacks have made fantastic goal line clearances. And well, that's another one. I mentioned Højbjerg's not the most promising player going forward, but he got that one right then. And great defending by Albrighton.
It's a fantastic play there by Albrighton. It falls to Højbjerg on the edge of the area, and I think he does everything right with the shot, really. He hits it hard, he's aiming for a corner, but Albrighton somehow managed to get his body in front of it and stop it from going in. Two brilliant goal line clearances by both fullbacks today for Leicester, and just the way the game's going, it's almost as if it's written in the stars that they're going to get 3 points here.
Absolutely. I mean, Højbjerg did everything right. Schmeichel, I think, might have come out of his area. That's why he might have let go of the ball. Of course, he had it in his hands originally, but if he slid any more, he probably would have ended up outside his 18-yard box. Højbjerg did everything right, went round the keeper, but in the end, he got his shot away. There were two Leicester players on the line, but still, Albrighton, the way he blocked that from going to the corner was fantastic. And like you say, maybe Lady Luck is shining on Leicester at the moment, it's fair to say. They've had all the luck in this game so far, and they still lead 1-0. Despite two goal line clearances and their crossbar being struck so far, so the luck's certainly on the Foxes' side at the moment. And they have possession now with Vestergaard, who plays one out to Hamza Chowdhury. And Maddison dropping deep to receive the ball. Plays it back to Soyuncu. And Soyuncu will find Chowdhury, just playing amongst the back line at the moment, into Tielemans, who looks up and plays a good ball out to Thomas on the left-hand side. Thomas forward towards Lookman, up against Tanganga. Lookman taking his time, being patient. He finds Tielemans on the edge of the area. Tielemans then goes out to Dewsbury Hall, who plays one in, not a bad ball. Sanchez, though, can head it away. Maddison going for it. Højbjerg mistimes his jump. Maddison takes a touch just a little bit too far in front of him, and Sanchez can clear it. Now Kane can bring it clear, though, but he runs it into Soyuncu, who clears away. And got to be frustrating that for Kane. He did very well there, but in the end, his touch a little bit too heavy on Soyuncu. Right place at the right time, and Kane, who was involved a lot in the game in 20 minutes, is out of it for now. But now, speaking of which, the ball forward though by Winks towards Kane, who's timed his run well. He's onside. Kane into the area, chance to shoot, cuts it back. Kane, it's in, hit the post and gone in. It is 1-1 now, and Harry Kane's great record against Leicester continues. 18 career goals now in 17 games against them. And as I said, Kane was out of the game for a moment, but he's back in it now, and he's equalised for Spurs.
Yeah, almost commentator's curse there, really, from you there, Sam. And Kane, I think he times his run to absolute perfection, as does Winks. We're seeing a replay here. I think he is onside. Soyuncu does his best to play the offside trap. It doesn't go his way. Kane, he takes his time, cuts inside away from Soyuncu, and it's a calm finish into the bottom right-hand corner via a little clip off the post as well. It will do his goal-scoring confidence the world of good. Kane, he hasn't had anywhere near as clinical of a season as we're used to seeing from the England striker. But it's a wonderfully composed finish, and Tottenham back on level terms, which, based on possession and the way the half's gone, you'd probably say is overall fair.
Yeah, you've got to say it's fair. With Spurs' look so far, I was expecting that to hit the post and bounce out, to be honest. But luckily for Spurs, though, it did go in. But yeah, it's got to be said, though, the way the game's gone in terms of chances and possession, they're well worthy of their equalising. Look what it means to Antonio Conte. He'll be very relieved, I imagine. And if the score stays as his team talk will be a lot different to what it was if it were to be 1-0. But Harry Kane's great record, though, against Leicester continues now. 18 goals in 17 appearances against them. And it's only his 4th Premier League goal of the season, which is quite scary by January for a player of Harry Kane's standards. Leicester looking to immediately hit back from kick-off. Tielemans to Vestergaard. Goes out to Thomas. Thomas finds Dewsbury Hall. Tielemans back to Dewsbury Hall. Belgian gets it back from him. Here's Maddison. Maddison goes back onto that right foot. Plays it into Daka, who goes out to Albrighton. Chance for him to cross on the right-hand side. He does, but it's blocked out by Reguilon, and it will be a throw-in to Leicester. And again, Spurs, they'll feel that equalised deserved. But for Leicester, they were starting to take full control of the game, really. We saw Maddison have that shot saved. That could have very easily been 2-0. So for the Foxes, it's got to be frustrating for them.
Yes, it's going to be incredibly frustrating. They were creating more and more opportunities. They were causing issues for this Tottenham defence. And now that goal has just put an extra, well, I say extra, just more wind in their sails. And they're flooding forward with a bit more intensity. And it just looks like the Leicester defence is a bit more stretched now. It's very end-to-end, this game. It's very hard to call where the next goal is going to come from if we do get another goal this half.
As I said, I did want goals in this game, and so far we've got 2 in the first half, and 1 for each side. Dewsbury Hall finds Tielemans just on the edge of the area. Here's Albrighton. Back to Tielemans. Albrighton, of course, will be very disappointed after that great goal line clearance he made just before the equaliser. In the end, Spurs did manage to find a way through. It's a poor ball from Tielemans, intercepted by Lucas Moura. Good play from the Brazilian. It's got Kane making a run. If he plays him in, he does as well. And Kane charging towards goal again. Well, into the area. Harry Kane. Oh, he's blazed it over. And wow, that's, well, for Harry Kane standards, that's a really, really bad finish. But Leicester getting away with one there. But good play by Lucas Moura. You always fancied Kane would have the advantage on Vestergaard in a foot race. He did, but when he got to the area, wow, he's blazed that one over.
That is nowhere near what we expect from Kane there. You thought he was going to bring the house down, really, with that opportunity. Wonderfully time pass by Lucas Moura. Kane, like you say, easily getting away from Vestergaard with who's quite a bit of a slow defender. He's just more of a physical presence. And Kane now, wow, he's got underneath it, and he's sent it into Rosette. It's not a good attempt at all by the number 10.
Had to have a giggle at Antonio Conte's reaction to that. He was convinced that was going to hit the back of the net, and his reaction was something to behold. Just looking at the goal line clearance by Albrighton earlier on, wow, it's fantastic by Albrighton, just looking at that. But and then looking at the equaliser as well from Harry Kane. It's a very good play, because that is Harry Kane at his absolute best. But unfortunately, what we saw a moment ago was not Harry Kane at his best. It was more like the Harry Kane we have seen, unfortunately, at times this season. But the game's still tied at 1-1. A very entertaining game at the King Power Stadium as well, as Hugo Lloris clears, finds Skip. And Skip goes back to Tanganga. Plays on forward towards Højbjerg. He thought he might have taken that down with his hand. Not the case. And Leicester win it back. It's a scrap in the middle of the park between Winks and Tielemans, 2 number 8s. But it's Winks who comes away with it. Plays it full, but Albrighton's positioned well to head it to Chowdhury, who goes back to Albrighton. Maddison goes to lay it off, and it's headed away by Davis, and Reguilon can now bring it forward for Spurs. And Spurs have a few players running forward here. He's got Kane on the outside. He finds Kane, who takes touch inside, has a go, and his shot's comfortably saved by Shima. I've got to say, Kane was a little bit selfish there, really. Certainly there were better options than having a strike at goal.
Yeah, I mean, he's getting a load of opportunities. He's having plenty of efforts on goal as well, but I think that was entirely the wrong choice. Looking at about 25, 30 yards out towards the left-hand side of the pitch. He had support in which was left-hand side and towards his right. He just saw it slightly up and up ahead of him, and it's not a good effort. It's an easy save for Schmeichel, probably the easiest one he's had to make over the course of this half. And Kane maybe just a little bit too selfish that time around.
So one promising thing from a Spurs point of view today was Kane's been more involved in this game than I've probably seen him all season, really. He's been having plenty of chances. He's been running well off the ball, which is very promising if you are a Spurs fan. Schmeichel has the ball on the edge of his area, and he finds Vestergaard. And Vestergaard goes to Soyuncu. Into Albrighton. Albrighton has got Chowdhury with him. He plays it forward. It's blocked by Højbjerg, and that will be a Leicester throw-in inside the Foxes' half. Just under 2 minutes to go until half-time. Soyuncu inside his own penalty area goes back to Kasper Schmeichel. Did not enjoy his finest game against Spurs last season, the Dane. He skidded 4 goals, and a couple of them he was very much at fault for, including an own goal that was on the final day of last season. Schmeichel with a rare bad game by his very high standards, admittedly. Daka loses out to Reguilon, and Sanchez can go back to Hugo Lloris. Lloris plays it forward. Højbjerg will head it down to Reguilon. It's a good play there by the Spanish left-back, but his header's nowhere near good enough, and it finds Chowdhury, who plays it off Reguilon for a throw into the Foxes. And Albrighton will take it. Chowdhury will take it, actually, and finds Soyuncu. He finds Chowdhury just on the halfway line. I think 1-1, I think it's got to be said. Spurs will feel like they deserve to go into half-time with something the way they've played. But as for Leicester, just how much they were getting on top ready before Spurs equal, I think they'll be a little bit more disappointed at this point than Spurs.
Yeah, I mean, I can see it for both sides really having an element of pride and of disappointment. Both sides have had their chances. Both sides have sort of ridden their luck at times as well. At the moment, a 1-1 scoreline is probably the fair result, and it's being very end-to-end, and I probably wouldn't back it. It's going to remain that way.
Yep, skip into the area. It's a good play by Skip, but Albrighton gets there in front of Højbjerg. Good break forward there by Spurs, but in the end, though, it was cleared away. It's good Oliver Skip, though. I think it's had a very promising game so far. I think Skip's an example of when you send players out on loan to the Championship and maybe one of the lower leagues, it can really work out. Skip's certainly come back and made a good impact at Spurs this season alongside Winks in the midfield. Game 1-1 at the moment. It's been an entertaining game at the King Power Stadium, though. It's 2 goals. Could have had more. 2 added minutes at the end of the first half. Soyuncu has it just on his edge of his own penalty area and goes out to Chowdhury. Chowdhury plays it forward, and it's not the most convincing ball. Will be kept alive, though, by Lookman, and Thomas can also keep it in as well. It's a hook forward, though, and it's actually gone out for a throw-in. In fact, thought Thomas did keep it in, but that was not the case, and Emerson Royal can take one for Spurs just in front of his manager, Antonio Conte. Tanganga. Sanchez. Here's Davis. Again, making his 250th appearance for Spurs this evening. Højbjerg. Højbjerg plays one forward, looking for Kane up against Soyuncu. Kane, good touch from him. Lays it off as well to Reguilon. Kane, touch inside. He's going to cross one, and not the greatest ball, though. Chowdhury gets touched, but falls to Skip on the edge of the area, though. Skip with a cross, and it will be again cleared away by Chowdhury. Højbjerg then has it. Chance to go. He plays in Lucas Moura. Lucas Moura out to Winks. He's got Skip with him, and that's who he plays it to on the right-hand side. Playing towards Tanganga. That's a good challenge, actually, by Lookman, and Dewsbury Hall can bring it clear. Dewsbury Hall back out to Lookman. Lookman comes forward, and he's won a foul as well from Lucas Moura, and that should be enough really for. We've got about 40 seconds to go until half-time, but Leicester will be glad to get out of that, really, because Spurs were just putting a bit of pressure on them then.
Yeah, they just need to ride out this wave of pressure up until half-time. They were having plenty of possession in and around the area, and I think at the moment Leicester are just going to focus on playing it around the back and just wait for half-time just to regroup and get some fluids in. It's been a fantastic half from a neutral perspective. Going into the second half, I really struggle to think which side's going to nick it or if it's going to be a draw.
Absolutely, yeah, it's been a good game, plenty of chances, 2 goals in the game as well. I think it's very finely poised going into the second period as half-time is very much approaching now, just under 10 seconds to go until John Moss inevitably does blow his whistle. Here's Soyuncu. Soyuncu out to Albrighton, and John Moss now does blow the half-time whistle, and it will be Leicester City 1, Tottenham Hotspur 1. Patson Daka give the Foxes the lead after 24 minutes, and Harry Kane, 4th Premier League goal of the season, equalising in the 38th. Kane's been involved quite a lot. Spurs have had plenty of chances, but the half-time score is Leicester City 1, Tottenham Hotspur 1.
Could have been 3 or 4-1 though for Tottenham. Kane's hit the bar and they've also had 2 efforts cleared off the line. Half-time, it's Leicester City 1, Tottenham Hotspur 1. Leicester taking the lead after 20 minutes via Patson Daka playing a rather fortuitous 1-2 with Adama Lukman. It came off Reguilon going back towards the Zambia international, who managed to, on the stretch, poke it past Hugo Lloris into the bottom left-hand corner. The equaliser came with a through ball by Harry Winks, setting off Harry Kane. He got one-on-one with Schmeichel, cut away from Soyuncu and tossed it into the bottom corner. It really could have been 3 or 4-1 though for Tottenham. Kane's hit the bar and they've also had 2 efforts cleared off the line. Half-time, it's Leicester City 1, Tottenham Hotspur 1. Leicester taking the lead after 20 minutes via Patson Daka playing a rather fortuitous 1-2 with Adama Lukman. It came off Reguilon going back towards the Zambia international, who managed to, on the stretch, poke it past Hugo Lloris into the bottom left-hand corner. The equaliser came with a through ball by Harry Winks, setting off Harry Kane. He got one-on-one with Schmeichel, cut away from Soyuncu and tossed it into the bottom corner. It really could have been 3 or 4-1 though for Tottenham. Kane's hit the bar and they've also had 2 efforts cleared off the line. Half-time, it's Leicester City 1, Tottenham Hotspur 1. Leicester taking the lead after 20 minutes via Patson Daka playing a rather fortuitous 1-2 with Adama Lukman. It came off Reguilon going back towards the Zambia international, who managed to, on the stretch, poke it past Hugo Lloris into the bottom left-hand corner. The equaliser came with a through ball by Harry Winks, setting off Harry Kane. He got one-on-one with Schmeichel, cut away from Soyuncu and tossed it into the bottom corner. It really could have been 3 or 4-1 though for Tottenham. Kane's hit the bar and they've also had 2 efforts cleared off the line. Half-time, it's Leicester City 1, Tottenham Hotspur 1. Leicester taking the lead after 20 minutes via Patson Daka playing a rather fortuitous 1-2 with Adama Lukman. It came off Reguilon going back towards the Zambia international, who managed to, on the stretch, poke it past Hugo Lloris into the bottom left-hand corner. The equaliser came with a through ball by Harry Winks, setting off Harry Kane. He got one-on-one with Schmeichel, cut away from Soyuncu and tossed it into the bottom corner. It really could have been 3 or 4-1 though for Tottenham. Kane's hit the bar and they've also had 2 efforts cleared off the line. Half-time, it's Leicester City 1, Tottenham Hotspur 1. Leicester taking the lead after 20 minutes via Patson Daka playing a rather fortuitous 1-2 with Adama Lukman. It came off Reguilon going back towards the Zambia international, who managed to, on the stretch, poke it past Hugo Lloris into the bottom left-hand corner. The equaliser came with a through ball by Harry Winks, setting off Harry Kane. He got one-on-one with Schmeichel, cut away from Soyuncu and tossed it into the bottom corner. It really could have been 3 or 4-1 though for Tottenham. Kane's hit the bar and they've also had 2 efforts cleared off the line. Half-time, it's Leicester City 1, Tottenham Hotspur 1. Leicester taking the lead after 20 minutes via Patson Daka playing a rather fortuitous 1-2 with Adama Lukman. It came off Reguilon going back towards the Zambia international, who managed to, on the stretch, poke it past Hugo Lloris into the bottom left-hand corner. The equaliser came with a through ball by Harry Winks, setting off Harry Kane. He got one-on-one with Schmeichel, cut away from Soyuncu and tossed it into the bottom corner. It really could have been 3 or 4-1 though for Tottenham. Kane's hit the bar and they've also had 2 efforts cleared off the line. Half-time, it's Leicester City 1, Tottenham Hotspur 1. Leicester taking the lead after 20 minutes via Patson Daka playing a rather fortuitous 1-2 with Adama Lukman. It came off Reguilon going back towards the Zambia international, who managed to, on the stretch, poke it past Hugo Lloris into the bottom left-hand corner. The equaliser came with a through ball by Harry Winks, setting off Harry Kane. He got one-on-one with Schmeichel, cut away from Soyuncu and tossed it into the bottom corner. It really could have been 3 or 4-1 though for Tottenham. Kane's hit the bar and they've also had 2 efforts cleared off the line. Half-time, it's Leicester City 1, Tottenham Hotspur 1. Leicester taking the lead after 20 minutes via Patson Daka playing a rather fortuitous 1-2 with Adama Lukman. It came off Reguilon going back towards the Zambia international, who managed to, on the stretch, poke it past Hugo Lloris into the bottom left-hand corner. The equaliser came with a through ball by Harry Winks, setting off Harry Kane. He got one-on-one with Schmeichel, cut away from Soyuncu and tossed it into the bottom corner. It really could have been 3 or 4-1 though for Tottenham. Kane's hit the bar and they've also had 2 efforts cleared off the line. Half-time, it's Leicester City 1, Tottenham Hotspur 1. Leicester taking the lead after 20 minutes via Patson Daka playing a rather fortuitous 1-2 with Adama Lukman. It came off Reguilon going back towards the Zambia international, who managed to, on the stretch, poke it past Hugo Lloris into the bottom left-hand corner. The equaliser came with a through ball by Harry Winks, setting off Harry Kane. He got one-on-one with Schmeichel, cut away from Soyuncu and tossed it into the bottom corner. It really could have been 3 or 4-1 though for Tottenham. Kane's hit the bar and they've also had 2 efforts cleared off the line. Half-time, it's Leicester City 1, Tottenham Hotspur 1. Leicester taking the lead after 20 minutes via Patson Daka playing a rather fortuitous 1-2 with Adama Lukman. It came off Reguilon going back towards the Zambia international, who managed to, on the stretch, poke it past Hugo Lloris into the bottom left-hand corner. The equaliser came with a through ball by Harry Winks, setting off Harry Kane. He got one-on-one with Schmeichel, cut away from Soyuncu and tossed it into the bottom corner. It really could have been 3 or 4-1 though for Tottenham. Kane's hit the bar and they've also had 2 efforts cleared off the line. Half-time, it's Leicester City 1, Tottenham Hotspur 1. Leicester taking the lead after 20 minutes via Patson Daka playing a rather fortuitous 1-2 with Adama Lukman. It came off Reguilon going back towards a Zambia international who managed to, on the stretch, poke it past Hugo Lloris into the bottom left-hand corner. The equaliser came with a through ball by Harry Winks, setting off Harry Kane. He got one-on-one with Schmeichel, cut away from Soyuncu and tossed it into the bottom corner. It really could have been 3 or 4-1 though for Tottenham. Kane's hit the bar and they've also had 2 efforts cleared off the line. Half-time, it's Leicester City 1, Tottenham Hotspur 1. Leicester taking the lead after 20 minutes via Patson Daka playing a rather fortuitous 1-2 with Adama Lukman. It came off Reguilon going back towards a Zambia international who managed to, on the stretch, poke it past Hugo Lloris into the bottom left-hand corner. The equaliser came with a through ball by Harry Winks, setting off Harry Kane. He got one-on-one with Schmeichel, cut away from Soyuncu and tossed it into the bottom corner. It really could have been 3 or 4-1 though for Tottenham. Kane's hit the bar and they've also had 2 efforts cleared off the line. Half-time, it's Leicester City 1, Tottenham Hotspur 1. Leicester taking the lead after 20 minutes via Patson Daka playing a rather fortuitous 1-2 with Adama Lukman. It came off Reguilon going back towards a Zambia international who managed to, on the stretch, poke it past Hugo Lloris into the bottom left-hand corner. The equaliser came with a through ball by Harry Winks, setting off Harry Kane. He got one-on-one with Schmeichel, cut away from Soyuncu and tossed it into the bottom corner. It really could have been 3 or 4-1 though for Tottenham. Kane's hit the bar and they've also had 2 efforts cleared off the line. Half-time, it's Leicester City 1, Tottenham Hotspur 1. Leicester taking the lead after 20 minutes via Patson Daka playing a rather fortuitous 1-2 with Adama Lukman. It came off Reguilon going back towards a Zambia international who managed to, on the stretch, poke it past Hugo Lloris into the bottom left-hand corner. The equaliser came with a through ball by Harry Winks, setting off Harry Kane. He got one-on-one with Schmeichel, cut away from Soyuncu and tossed it into the bottom corner. It really could have been 3 or 4-1 though for Tottenham. Kane's hit the bar and they've also had 2 efforts cleared off the line. Half-time, it's Leicester City 1, Tottenham Hotspur 1. Leicester taking the lead after 20 minutes via Patson Daka playing a rather fortuitous 1-2 with Adama Lukman. It came off Reguilon going back towards a Zambia international who managed to, on the stretch, poke it past Hugo Lloris into the bottom left-hand corner. The equaliser came with a through ball by Harry Winks, setting off Harry Kane. He got one-on-one with Schmeichel, cut away from Soyuncu and tossed it into the bottom corner. It really could have been 3 or 4-1 though for Tottenham. Kane's hit the bar and they've also had 2 efforts cleared off the line. Half-time, it's Leicester City 1, Tottenham Hotspur 1. Leicester taking the lead after 20 minutes via Patson Daka playing a rather fortuitous 1-2 with Adama Lukman. It came off Reguilon going back towards a Zambia international who managed to, on the stretch, poke it past Hugo Lloris into the bottom left-hand corner. The equaliser came with a through ball by Harry Winks, setting off Harry Kane. He got one-on-one with Schmeichel, cut away from Soyuncu and tossed it into the bottom corner. It really could have been 3 or 4-1 though for Tottenham. Kane's hit the bar and they've also had 2 efforts cleared off the line. Half-time, it's Leicester City 1, Tottenham Hotspur 1. Leicester taking the lead after 20 minutes via Patson Daka playing a rather fortuitous 1-2 with Adama Lukman. It came off Reguilon going back towards a Zambia international who managed to, on the stretch, poke it past Hugo Lloris into the bottom left-hand corner. The equaliser came with a through ball by Harry Winks, setting off Harry Kane. He got one-on-one with Schmeichel, cut away from Soyuncu and tossed it into the bottom corner. It really could have been 3 or 4-1 though for Tottenham. Kane's hit the bar and they've also had 2 efforts cleared off the line. Half-time, it's Leicester City 1, Tottenham Hotspur 1. Leicester taking the lead after 20 minutes via Patson Daka playing a rather fortuitous 1-2 with Adama Lukman. It came off Reguilon going back towards a Zambia international who managed to, on the stretch, poke it past Hugo Lloris into the bottom left-hand corner. The equaliser came with a through ball by Harry Winks, setting off Harry Kane. He got one-on-one with Schmeichel, cut away from Soyuncu and tossed it into the bottom corner. It really could have been 3 or 4-1 though for Tottenham. Kane's hit the bar and they've also had 2 efforts cleared off the line. Half-time, it's Leicester City 1, Tottenham Hotspur 1. Leicester taking the lead after 20 minutes via Patson Daka playing a rather fortuitous 1-2 with Adama Lukman. It came off Reguilon going back towards a Zambia international who managed to, on the stretch, poke it past Hugo Lloris into the bottom left-hand corner. The equaliser came with a through ball by Harry Winks, setting off Harry Kane. He got one-on-one with Schmeichel, cut away from Soyuncu and tossed it into the bottom corner. It really could have been 3 or 4-1 though for Tottenham. Kane's hit the bar and they've also had 2 efforts cleared off the line. Half-time, it's Leicester City 1, Tottenham Hotspur 1. Leicester taking the lead after 20 minutes via Patson Daka playing a rather fortuitous 1-2 with Adama Lukman. It came off Reguilon going back towards a Zambia international who managed to, on the stretch, poke it past Hugo Lloris into the bottom left-hand corner. The equaliser came with a through ball by Harry Winks, setting off Harry Kane. He got one-on-one with Schmeichel, cut away from Soyuncu and tossed it into the bottom corner. It really could have been 3 or 4-1 though for Tottenham. Kane's hit the bar and they've also had 2 efforts cleared off the line. Half-time, it's Leicester City 1, Tottenham Hotspur 1. Leicester taking the lead after 20 minutes via Patson Daka playing a rather fortuitous 1-2 with Adama Lukman. It came off Reguilon going back towards a Zambia international who managed to, on the stretch, poke it past Hugo Lloris into the bottom left-hand corner. The equaliser came with a through ball by Harry Winks, setting off Harry Kane. He got one-on-one with Schmeichel, cut away from Soyuncu and tossed it into the bottom corner. It really could have been 3 or 4-1 though for Tottenham. Kane's hit the bar and they've also had 2 efforts cleared off the line. Half-time, it's Leicester City 1, Tottenham Hotspur 1. Leicester taking the lead after 20 minutes via Patson Daka playing a rather fortuitous 1-2 with Adama Lukman. It came off Reguilon going back towards a Zambia international who managed to, on the stretch, poke it past Hugo Lloris into the bottom left-hand corner. The equaliser came with a through ball by Harry Winks, setting off Harry Kane. He got one-on-one with Schmeichel, cut away from Soyuncu and tossed it into the bottom corner. It really could have been 3 or 4-1 though for Tottenham. Kane's hit the bar and they've also had 2 efforts cleared off the line. Half-time, it's Leicester City 1, Tottenham Hotspur 1. Leicester taking the lead after 20 minutes via Patson Daka playing a rather fortuitous 1-2 with Adama Lukman. It came off Reguilon going back towards a Zambia international who managed to, on the stretch, poke it past Hugo Lloris into the bottom left-hand corner. The equaliser came with a through ball by Harry Winks, setting off Harry Kane. He got one-on-one with Schmeichel, cut away from Soyuncu and tossed it into the bottom corner. It really could have been 3 or 4-1 though for Tottenham. Kane's hit the bar and they've also had 2 efforts cleared off the line. Half-time, it's Leicester City 1, Tottenham Hotspur 1. Leicester taking the lead after 20 minutes via Patson Daka playing a rather fortuitous 1-2 with Adama Lukman. It came off Reguilon going back towards a Zambia international who managed to, on the stretch, poke it past Hugo Lloris into the bottom left-hand corner. The equaliser came with a through ball by Harry Winks, setting off Harry Kane. He got one-on-one with Schmeichel, cut away from Soyuncu and tossed it into the bottom corner. It really could have been 3 or 4-1 though for Tottenham. Kane's hit the bar and they've also had 2 efforts cleared off the line. Half-time, it's Leicester City 1, Tottenham Hotspur 1. Leicester taking the lead after 20 minutes via Patson Daka playing a rather fortuitous 1-2 with Adama Lukman. It came off Reguilon going back towards a Zambia international who managed to, on the stretch, poke it past Hugo Lloris into the bottom left-hand corner. The equaliser came with a through ball by Harry Winks, setting off Harry Kane. He got one-on-one with Schmeichel, cut away from Soyuncu and tossed it into the bottom corner. It really could have been 3 or 4-1 though for Tottenham. Kane's hit the bar and they've also had 2 efforts cleared off the line. Half-time, it's Leicester City 1, Tottenham Hotspur 1. Leicester taking the lead after 20 minutes via Patson Daka playing a rather fortuitous 1-2 with Adama Lukman. It came off Reguilon going back towards a Zambia international who managed to, on the stretch, poke it past Hugo Lloris into the bottom left-hand corner. The equaliser came with a through ball by Harry Winks, setting off Harry Kane. He got one-on-one with Schmeichel, cut away from Soyuncu and tossed it into the bottom corner. It really could have been 3 or 4-1 though for Tottenham. Kane's hit the bar and they've also had 2 efforts cleared off the line. Half-time, it's Leicester City 1, Tottenham Hotspur 1. Leicester taking the lead after 20 minutes via Patson Daka playing a rather fortuitous 1-2 with Adama Lukman. It came off Reguilon going back towards a Zambia international who managed to, on the stretch, poke it past Hugo Lloris into the bottom left-hand corner. The equaliser came with a through ball by Harry Winks, setting off Harry Kane. He got one-on-one with Schmeichel, cut away from Soyuncu and tossed it into the bottom corner. It really could have been 3 or 4-1 though for Tottenham. Kane's hit the bar and they've also had 2 efforts cleared off the line. Half-time, it's Leicester City 1, Tottenham Hotspur 1. Leicester taking the lead after 20 minutes via Patson Daka playing a rather fortuitous 1-2 with Adama Lukman. It came off Reguilon going back towards a Zambia international who managed to, on the stretch, poke it past Hugo Lloris into the bottom left-hand corner. The equaliser came with a through ball by Harry Winks, setting off Harry Kane. He got one-on-one with Schmeichel, cut away from Soyuncu and tossed it into the bottom corner. It really could have been 3 or 4-1 though for Tottenham. Kane's hit the bar and they've also had 2 efforts cleared off the line. Half-time, it's Leicester City 1, Tottenham Hotspur 1. Leicester taking the lead after 20 minutes via Patson Daka playing a rather fortuitous 1-2 with Adama Lukman. It came off Reguilon going back towards a Zambia international who managed to, on the stretch, poke it past Hugo Lloris into the bottom left-hand corner. The equaliser came with a through ball by Harry Winks, setting off Harry Kane. He got one-on-one with Schmeichel, cut away from Soyuncu and tossed it into the bottom corner. It really could have been 3 or 4-1 though for Tottenham. Kane's hit the bar and they've also had 2 efforts cleared off the line. Half-time, it's Leicester City 1, Tottenham Hotspur 1. Leicester taking the lead. We'll leave that there because we're back underway for the second half of this Premier League clash between Leicester City and Tottenham Hotspur. It's 1 apiece after the first period of 45 minutes. Chances for both sides. Arguably, maybe Tottenham feel a little bit hard done by that they're not at least 2 or 3 goals ahead in this one, having 2 efforts cleared off the line, and Harry Kane also hitting the bar from close range with a header. It's myself, William Maxwell, and Sam Wright taking you through this one. There's been one change at the half-time interval. Looks like for Tottenham, Matt Doherty has come onto the field of play, replacing Emerson Royale in the right wing-back position. So we'll just run you through the lineups once again. So for Leicester, unchanged, Schmeichel in goal, Albrighton, Soyuncu, Vestergaard and Thomas in defence. Tielemans, Chowdhury and Dewsbury Hall in the midfield, with Maddison playing behind the goal scorer Patson Daka and Ademola Lookman. For Tottenham, it's Lloris in goal, Doherty, Tanganga, Sanchez, Davies and Reguilon in the defence. Skip, Højbjerg and Winks, the midfield three. Goal scorer Harry Kane and Lucas Moura leading the line there. And as Leicester look to come forward with Vestergaard going over towards the left-hand side for Luke Thomas. We were saying just off air the changes that could be made by either side. I think for Tottenham's point of view, we were thinking maybe the likes of Dele Alli or Giovanni Lo Celso. Doherty seems a little bit of a surprise choice.
Yeah, absolutely. Unless there was an injury, of course, to Emerson Royale. I'm not really too sure why that is. But yeah, Doherty, of course, he did play against Chelsea in the Carabao Cup. But a bit of an interesting one, really. But yeah, I mean, obviously, unless it's an injury, I don't really see why Conte would have brought him on. But yeah, he's on the ball now coming forward.
Yes, Doherty hasn't had the greatest of times in a Tottenham shirt since his move from Wolverhampton Wanderers. But he's got an opportunity now to try and have a positive impact on this game. His cross doesn't find a man in wide. It does find Højbjerg, though, from around 35 yards out. He'll go for goal, blocked by Soyuncu. The header by Thomas is up rather than away. And then Doherty will intercept and nod that back towards Japhet Tanganga inside his own half. Now with Sanchez finding Harry Winks inside the centre circle. Support in Davies to his left-hand side, which he will utilise. Held up now by Patson Daka. Back towards Winks again. He'll spread it over towards Oliver Skipp. In regards to the other game in the Premier League, around 36 minutes gone in the 8 o'clock kickoff between Brentford and Manchester United. That game remains goalless between these two sides and no bookings either to tell you about, which means as it currently stands, well, Brentford will be leapfrogging Aston Villa into 13th place, United remaining in 7th, Tottenham in 6th and Leicester in 10th still as well. As Doherty gets a cross in dangerously, it's Reguilon at the back post, away from one, gets a shot away, really well blocked by Maddison, flying in front of the effort, getting a last-ditch deflection in to send the ball out for a corner kick.
Yeah, good defending by Maddison, not really known for his defensive work, but he does well there. You see the ball worked out to Doherty, not a bad ball in from him, falls to Reguilon again. He's a bit not as comfortable on that right foot, but good tracking back by Maddison and a good block as well.
Yes, a vital bit of defending by the Leicester number 10. So it'll be yet another corner kick for Tottenham Hotspur. They're really totting up these corners, are the North London outfit. I think it will be Reguilon on that. Oh, sorry, yeah, it will be Harry Winks, I apologise. On the far right-hand side, that will take this. And here's Winks with a dangerous ball in, flapped at by Schmeichel, falls to Højbjerg, who goes for the optimistic effort on the half volley when he's sort of facing away from goal. Sliced effort, and it sends it quite comfortably wide and over Schmeichel's goal.
Yeah, as mentioned a lot in the first half, how Højbjerg is not exactly the most convincing in full positions, and that kind of sums it up, really. A wild swing with his left foot, way wide of the goal. But one of them really is punched out by Schmeichel, edge of the area. You think, why not have a go? But unfortunately, Højbjerg's effort was nowhere near on goal. But a promising start to the second half from Spurs so far.
Yes, whatever words have been put in their ears by Antonio Conte seems to be ringing true enough as Kane tries to put the pressure on Schmeichel. His clearance is poor, headed away by Højbjerg. Chowdhury's interception only goes as far as Winks, is then going to be picked up again by Albrighton, going back towards Hamza Chowdhury. Now with Soyuncu under pressure from Lucas Moura, we'll spread it towards Vestergaard on the left-hand side. Vestergaard bringing this ball forward, now finding Luke Thomas. Back towards Vestergaard once again, held up by Oliver Skipp this time. Thomas on the left wing, plays it down the line, intending for Dewsbury Hall. That's going to be overhit and cut out by Tanganga. Back towards Lloris, whose first-time clearance forces the slip by Daka. The header by Skipp only goes as far as Ademola Lookman, who then tries to break forward. It's going to get brought back, though, by a foul by Youri Tielemans on Oliver Skipp. We're just seeing a replay of that decision now. I mean, I think it's maybe a tad unfortunate there, Youri Tielemans. To me, he's just looking like he's going for the ball with Oliver Skipp there.
Absolutely, you see him trying to get his body out of the way of Skipp as well, but again, it's one of them, usually the defender will get the foul in that situation, and we saw it there. You see Tielemans trying to pull himself away from the situation. Skipp goes down and the referee blows for a free kick. You see that very often in that position, but I think Tielemans is unlucky there.
He is rather unfortunate as Højbjerg goes back towards Davinson Sanchez, now towards Skipp. Skipp will bring this ball forward, held up by Dewsbury Hall, back towards Tanganga. And now Skipp once again. Here is Sanchez, who will spread it over for Davies now. Bringing this ball forward, gets away from Maddison as support to his left-hand side in Højbjerg, who then cuts in for Lucas Moura. Davies tackled by Chowdhury, only as far as Harry Winks, who then spreads it back towards the right-hand side for Tanganga, who's got support in Skip to his right. He'll utilise him as well. Skip now towards Matt Doherty, who pulls away from Luke Thomas. Finding Kane, who held up by Tielemans, but he'll find support in Tanganga, who puts a deft cross into the area, intending for Harry Kane. It's going to be easily gathered by Schmeichel, who then immediately looks to release Lookman on the far side. Lookman can't keep the ball in play, goes out for a throw-in. See what Schmeichel's trying to do there, not the greatest of deliveries from him. But Tottenham also, I think, just a wrong cross in the end was put into the area.
Yeah, not a great ball by Tanganga. Trying to stand up to Kane at the back post. Doesn't really get enough on it. Comfortable take for Schmeichel. Then goes to release Lookman, but just gets a little bit too much on it. But you definitely saw the idea from Schmeichel, though, in a good moment. It looks like James Justin's going to make a return to the field imminently.
Yes, return to the start. Well, I say starting 11 to the first team after a prolonged period out of injury for James Justin. Was a vitally important player to the Foxes squad over last season, and he is now going to make his way back into his, I'm assuming, in his right back position. So it might be a like-for-like substitution with Mark Albrighton, who is a midfielder by trade. He's been utilised many times as an auxiliary right back, and I probably wouldn't say he's had a bad performance today at all, especially having a key moment in clearing an effort off the line.
Yeah, Albrighton's done really well. Really good pro, Mark Albrighton. Actually scored twice against Spurs in his Aston Villa days. But yeah, really good pro, Albrighton. Always does a job no matter where he's put in the team. Of course, Premier League winner with Leicester, yeah. Every time he comes, he does a job. And even though right back's not his natural position, he's not looked bad at all to this evening, in fairness to him.
Kane pulling away from Yuri Tielemans. This could be an opportunity. Kane looks to go for goal from around 25-30 yards out. It's another effort from Harry Kane where probably a pass was the better option. Decides to go for a goal, a little bit greedy, and once again his effort doesn't hit the target and ends up quite comfortably over Kasper Schmeichel's crossbar.
Yeah, he's determined to get another goal today, Kane. He's really had plenty of efforts in this game so far. That one going way over, and again, like I said, the pass was probably the better option there, and you see the Leicester fans now applauding for James Justin's introduction. A very nice moment for the young fullback.
Yeah, so both number twos have come onto the field of play now for either side. It's Luke Thomas has been brought off for Leicester City. So Justin, although more of a right back by trade, he can play in the left back position. I think that's the right decision to bring off Thomas.
I think Thomas having a good game as well, really. It's difficult to know, because I don't think any of Leicester's fullbacks have done badly today. They've both done great goal line clearances and both defended quite well as well and done all right going forward. So no matter who you take off, really, it would have been difficult. But yeah, I think obviously Thomas, being a youngster as well, kind of understand why from Rodgers' point of view.
Yeah, so James Justin's going to have around 40 minutes or so on the field today to get his fitness up and his match sharpness, and he gets his first real touches of the ball now, trying to break forward away from Ollie Skip. Instead, it's going to go back towards Yannick Vestergaard, who is going to be held up by a mixture of Kane and Lucas Moura before spreading it towards Hamza Chowdhury. Now with Tielemans, Chowdhury seemingly in the right-back position at the moment, or sort of like an auxiliary third centre-back. Soyuncu back towards Vestergaard, finding Justin on the left-hand side. Justin will find Dewsbury Hall. Now with Lookman. His pass is easily cut out by Doherty, but it's one straight back by Lookman. Tielemans' through ball will find James Justin. Goes down under pressure from Japhet Tanganga. It's not going to be a free kick, though. Instead, it's actually going to go for an offside decision against the number 2. And Tottenham immediately look to break forward. Harry Kane, he's been scythed down there by Hamza Chowdhury. That's going to be a free kick, and it's probably the clearest yellow card you're going to see over the course of today.
Absolutely, yeah. Chowdhury knows exactly what he's doing. Kane's in full flight there, really going forward. Yeah, he sticks a leg out. It's a blatant free kick, and yeah, it's probably taking one for the team there from Chowdhury's point of view, but absolutely, like you say, it's more of a, it's the clearest yellow card you're going to see all day and maybe even all season.
Yeah, so it's a yellow card for the Leicester City number 10. Free kick was taken short and backwards, so Tottenham will just focus on holding on to possession for the time being, with Winks going towards the left-hand side in Ben Davies, who plays, or at least was intending for a 1-2 with Højbjerg. It's intercepted well by Maddison, who brings this ball forward, finding Lookman, who gets away from Sanchez, holds on to possession, then runs into a little bit of traffic, but holds on to possession well before going back towards Vestergaard once again, under pressure this time by Lucas Moura. Now with Schmeichel, finding Chowdhury on the right-hand side. Here is Soyuncu. Under no real pressure. trying to caress it towards the far right-hand corner. It was a nice idea by the Irish defender, decided not to put his foot through it, trying to caress it back to from where the somewhat cross came from to wrong foot Kasper Schmeichel. In the end, he doesn't have the required curl, and in fairness, there was plenty of Leicester defenders in front of him, so it would have taken quite a special effort to get that in the back of the net.
Yeah, wrong foot as well, of course. He is right-footed and it fell to that left foot. He goes to curl it round. It's a nice idea, as you say. I think if he goes to put his foot through that, it goes way over the crossbar and convincingly off target. But I know, good idea though, but I think even if he did get it on target, there were so many Leicester players back, it would have had to take a special effort to score. But yeah, in the end, another chance though for Spurs.
Yes, another opportunity. They're really racking them up at the moment. They're not clinical enough as Justin goes back towards Vestergaard. Back towards Justin. Daka, his pass is poor, can't find Yuri Tielemans. It'll be Højbjerg that picks it up and he'll bring this ball forward. Reguilon in acres of space on the left-hand side, aims towards the Spaniard as well, and he'll find Sergio Reguilon, who cuts away from Albrighton and then tries to do a little roulette turn to get away from Soyuncu, but it's good defending by the brutish Turkish centre-back, who does well to stand up tall and get a important toe in it to give away yet another corner kick.
Yeah, Spurs piling on a lot of pressure. A good play by Reguilon to get away from his man, but Soyuncu comes across. Really good defending from him, and Spurs have taken it quickly.
They have, and it's going to be whipped in on the second time of asking by Harry Winks. And, well, the less said about that cross, the better. It's I'm normally a little bit peeved by training ground moves such as that. If you're not going to put the ball into the area, it has to be a well-worked move, and that time it was... Well, it really wasn't.
No, not at all. Poor ball, really. I mean, no one was at the back post for Spurs, but his cross was way too much on it anyway. Even if someone wasn't there, they might not have got to that. But yeah, poor ball by Winks. And like you say, it's always disappointing when they take a corner quickly and then it comes to nothing, really. The people who, of course, have made their way forward from the defence, wasted journey for them, really.
Yes, and Kane will now pick up possession and he gets away from Vestergaard. Now supporting Doherty to his right-hand side, won't utilise him, tries to get across into the area, headed away well by Chowdhury, picked up again by Winks, he then overruns it, and now Dewsbury Hall will bring this ball forward, and there could be a counter-attack opportunity here for Leicester. It's a 3-on-3, Kane and Winks doing their best to get back. Maddison also offering support. It's Dewsbury Hall to James Maddison, who'll go for goal. Good save by Lloris. The clearance by Davies is poor. It spoons into the air. In the end, the Welshman recovers, and it's Harry Kane who's all the way back alongside his defenders to do his defensive duties and make the final clearance, and then Winks will spread it towards Doherty on the right-hand side. Big opportunity that, though, for Maddison.
Yeah, good play by Dewsbury Hall. He waits for Maddison's run. Maddison, great position, has a go. It's straight at Lloris in truth. It makes it a very easy save for him. But Maddison in that position, though, you'd expect him to hit the back of the net. But in the end, his shot there was way too close to Lloris. But credit Harry Kane there, by the way. He tracked Maddison all the way. It's good work rate from the forward. But in that position, though, for James Maddison, you'd probably expect him to score. It was in the end, the effort was straight at the goalkeeper.
Yeah, really could have done a little bit better there, James Maddison. As Skip tries to find Lucas Moura, intercepted by Soyuncu. Now Dewsbury Hall, through ball towards the left-hand side in Lookman. He's appealing, he's been caught there by Davinson Sanchez. Doesn't look like it's gone his way. A yellow card's been shown by John Moss. I'm not entirely sure if that's for Sanchez or if it's for a dive by Lookman. Considering I can see a little bit of contact, I'm assuming it has gone Sanchez and it will be a free kick, and we're just getting confirmation now.
Yeah, I don't think that's necessarily a yellow card, really. I think it's a little bit harsh for Sanchez. I mean, I don't think Lookman's making a promising break forward or anything, really. But yeah, a yellow card, nonetheless, a chance for Leicester to get the ball into the area.
Yeah, so definitely just on face value, wasn't a bookable tackle. Maybe it's an accumulation or just the fact that it was a really silly tackle to make, considering the position that Lookman was in. But it gives the opportunity now for Leicester to put the ball into the area via the likes of either James Maddison or Keenan Dewsbury Hall, the two players standing over this one. Can also confirm it is now half-time at the Brentford Community Stadium. Brentford 0, Manchester United 0, the half-time score in that one. Still no bookings either to tell you about either, as Dewsbury Hall runs over the ball. Maddison is the player that whips it in, headed away by Moura, hit on the volley, or half volley I should say, by Yuri Tielemans. That was a fizzing drive by the Belgian. Unfortunately for him though, it was always rising.
Yeah, we know we can hit them. Tielemans, of course, just go back to the FA Cup final last season against Chelsea. But that one, though, it's one of them, when it bounces in front of you in that position, it takes a special effort to go in from there. And always rising, as you're saying, comfortably over the bar. But another shot on goal for Leicester, who is starting to grow into this second half after a slow start.
Yes, they really are just finding their feet once again in this one. We've passed the hour mark of this game. Listening to unofficial off-tube studio commentary. Leicester City 1, Tottenham Hotspur. by Dewsbury. Back towards Tanganga once again. Both sides still have just made the solitary substitution. Just to run you through the remaining substitutes to choose from for both sides. For Leicester, you're looking at Barnes, the backup goalkeeper Ward, Perez, another backup goalkeeper in Jakupovic, and then youngsters McAteer, Brunt, Daly Campbell, and of course Boubacar Samare, the signing on the summer transfer window. For Tottenham Hotspur, they've got Brian Hill, Rodon, Lo Celso, Sessegnon, Ali, Bergwijn, Scarlett, and backup goalkeeper Pierluigi Golini. Here is Højbjerg for Tottenham Hotspur. Skip, no one really pressurising him. He won't go for goal, instead finds Doherty. Decent cross in, can't find Harry Kane. It fell to Skip, who with a bit of a tackle turned shot almost poked it towards goal. The spin of the ball though takes it wide for a goal kick. In the end, I think Doherty's cross isn't exactly bad, but there's just so many players back that there's no real space for any player to get a shot away.
I feel like Doherty should have gone into the 6-yard box there. He goes to play it to Kane if anything. He fires it at him quite quickly as well, and I think if he goes towards the 6-yard box, it's going to cause a little bit more problems. In the end, it made it a bit easier to defend for Leicester, and obviously Skip's effort towards goal was more of a tackle come shot, really, and it goes comfortably wide. But yeah, again, they're in good position there, Spurs, and Doherty, since he's come on, has actually got in some really good crossing positions.
Yes, Tottenham have had 20 attempts to Leicester's 7 so far in this game, with 5 on target, 3 for Leicester, showing that they are peppering Kasper Schmeichel's goal, but not exactly forcing him into that many saves, particularly recently in this second half. Just looking through my notes, I don't think Schmeichel's actually been forced into a save so far in this second period, as Tanganga tries to turn away from Dewsbury Hall. Plays a 1-2 with Doherty before going backwards once again for Davinson Sanchez. Here is Davies. Davies will find Reguilon, now with Winks, finding Lucas Moura. No Leicester player pressurising the Brazilian. Moura will chip it over the top for Højbjerg. Gets a cross in, takes a deflection off Chowdhury, headed away by Dewsbury Hall, be brought down by Sergio Reguilon. Back towards Højbjerg on that left-hand side, has the overlap in the Spaniard. Won't utilise him, will cut back in for Harry Winks. Now with Kane, finding Moura, has the overlap in Tanganga. Now Japhet Tanganga will bring this ball forward and he will go for goal as well. Not a bad effort, and there's the first save of the second half for Kasper Schmeichel, flinging his body over to his left-hand side. Comfortable height, and it wasn't too far in the corner for a really dramatic save, but it's still a save that was vitally important for Leicester.
Yeah, good effort by Tanganga in the end, really, and no one really closed him down, invites him to have a go. Good height for Schmeichel, like you say, and, you know, it was not really towards the corner either, so maybe quite a comfortable save, but first one he's had to make in this second half. But yeah, certainly worth a go by Tanganga and a shot on target.
Yeah, shot on target for Tottenham. Can they begin to make further inroads in that regards? Here is Davinson Sanchez finding Tanganga once again. Now with Doherty, held up by Justin. Kane turns Soyuncu, could be an opportunity here for Tottenham. Kane has support in Lucas Moura, tries to get across in, blocked rather simply by Justin, and then it'll be a mixture of Maddison and Tielemans and Dewsbury Hall that make the clearance. Wonderful football there by Leicester. Maddison finds Dacko, who's then tackled by Ben Davies. For the clearance will be made. Now Tanganga towards Oliver Skip, just had a quick glance at the substitute benches for both sides. Doesn't look like any player at the moment is getting stripped and ready for either side. So currently Antonio Conte and Brendan Rodgers both happy enough to keep things as is. Here is Harry Kane holding off Maddison, through ball towards Lucas Moura. Just about getting away from Dewsbury Hall, but Dewsbury Hall does really well to tackle back and bring this ball out for the Foxes. Justin, then pressurised by Kane, finds Dewsbury Hall, who will hold off Skip in a little bit of a tight area. We'll go back towards Kasper Schmeichel, who offered some support for Dewsbury Hall, and he'll spread it towards the far side. Flick on by Albrighton. Maddison turns away by Davies. He's surely been caught there by the Welshman. That's going to be a free kick. Here's Davies also going to go into John Moss's notebook. Doesn't look like it. It will just be a free kick. And looking at the replay, Davies just, it's not a sliding tackle. He slips and brings him down.
Yeah, at first I thought that Maddison kind of bought the contacts a little bit there, but no, Davies slips, obviously, then catches Maddison, who doesn't really have a choice to go down then because his trailing leg is tripped over. I think that's purely accidental from Davies, but maybe a little bit looking to get away with the book, and Maddison would have certainly had a promising break on if he'd got away from him, but he gets away with it on this occasion, and a dangerous ball in by Maddison's cleared.
Yes, it was Lloris that was alert to the danger, coming bravely off his line to punched the ball away, but he's come off worse out of the collision with himself and Patson Daka. He's remained on the deck, clutching what looks like his forearm. We're going to see a replay. Could it be the landing, or is it just a case of the collision between the two? Seeing a replay, I mean, he might have been given a dead arm, maybe just with the shoulder or head going into the elbow/funny bone of Hugo Lloris. It'll be a sore one. I don't imagine it's going to be enough for him to be brought off, though.
No, I think he's a little bit winded, to be honest. I think Daka might have just gone and fell into him a little bit, which might be why. I mean, I remember Lloris a few years ago going off at Brighton with a broken arm, I believe it was. Looking at that save again earlier on by Lloris from Maddison, actually, again, it was kind of straight at him and a comfortable save. But no, I think Lloris looks like he's going to be okay, thankfully, to continue.
Yes, he's back onto his feet, and whatever wind was taken out of him is slowly re-entering his lungs, so he shall be okay to continue. Looks like we're going to have a drop ball, and I imagine the ball's going to be played back towards the goalkeeper, or just being allowed to play on via Ben Davies in the Tottenham defence. Played almost 67 minutes now of this game. Listening to unofficial off-tube studio commentary. Leicester City 1, Tottenham Hotspur 1. Winks back towards Sanchez. No real pressure on him. He'll look to spread it towards Reguilon on the left-hand side. Gets away from Albrighton and away from Maddison, and then Tielemans slips. Reguilon gets a shot away. Schmeichel getting down low to his right-hand side to make the save, and realistically, Reguilon only really got their shot away due to either partly poor defensive play and just a sloppy error from Tielemans.
Yeah, slipped by Tielemans, very unfortunate there, and obviously Reguilon on his weaker foot, though, his right foot, the effort's quite weak, and it's quite a comfortable save for Schmeichel, but it opened up for him a little bit there, though, of course, due to the slip from Tielemans, and yeah, if he got a better shot away, it could have been much more of a test for the goalkeeper.
As Højbjerg does well to tackle back on Maddison. Winks then finds Højbjerg again, turns away from Daka, then we'll go back towards Sanchez, and now it'll be Winks that will find Doherty. He then will bring this ball forward. Doherty looking for some support. His cross is poor, picked up by Vestergaard, goes back towards Doherty. He then tries to spread it towards Reguilon. It's an important interception by Albrighton, and then it'll be Maddison now that brings this ball away. Here is Ademola Lookman. Looking for support. Has the overlap in Tielemans. In Justin, I should say. Justin held up well by Davinson Sanchez. Options limited. We will find Dewsbury Hall. That pass is really poor by Dewsbury Hall. Easily cut out. And it will find Harry Kane. Lucas Moura trying to spread the ball towards the opposite wing, but it goes straight to Mark Albrighton, who looks to float it into the area, intending for Lookman. Flick away by Tanganga. Doherty gives it back to Tanganga, who on the half volley spoons it high into the air. Skip goes down looking for a free kick, nothing awarded. Lookman holds on to possession, gets a shot away, takes a big deflection, goes out for a corner kick, and very fortuitous how that came about for the Foxes.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah, really poor clearance actually by Tanganga up in the air more than anything, and eventually falls to Lookman on a corner for Leicester. They've not really had much play up that end in the last 5-10 minutes or so, so a chance for them to maybe put that Spurs defence under a little bit of pressure.
Yeah, so opportunity for the big boys to come forward. Çağlar Söyüncü and Yannick Vestergaard, the two main aerial threats for Leicester City this time around. They've also got Dewsbury Hall and Daka in the area to aim for. It will be James Maddison who takes this as he applauds the fans and tries to get them a little bit more vocal to get behind the side. Maddison taking his time in whipping this ball into the area. Aiming for a man in blue, headed away by Sanchez. It falls to Hamza Chowdhury, who spoons his effort, not even out of play. It'll be picked up by Maddison, who is still onside, so the attack's still on. Maddison with a dangerous ball in, headed away again by Sanchez, falls to Youri Tielemans. He'll go for goal from 25 yards. That is definitely going to be the end of the attack, spooned over and wide, and that also brings the end to my league commentary in this game. We're going into around the 70th minute of this one. Leicester City 1, Tottenham Hotspur 1, and it'll be Sam to take you through to full time.
That's why we see Chowdhury having a good giggle there. It is an effort a moment ago, which was spooned all the way out to James Maddison. If that had eventually goal come of that, I'm sure he would have been having a bit more of a giggle about it, of course, in a much better way. But it's Spurs who have possession now with Davinson Sanchez. Sanchez did score that late winner, of course, against Watford in Spurs' last Premier League game. That was back on New Year's Day. Lloris finds Tanganga. Tanganga goes back to his goalkeeper, who thankfully is okay to continue and has possession just inside his own penalty area and plays it forward towards Lucas Moura, is beaten in the air by Söyüncü, but the ball falls to Højbjerg, who finds Reguilon. Region down towards Kane. Good defending though by Vestergaard, who gets there first. And Kane not really having as much impact in this second half as he did in the first. But we know Kane only really needs one chance. Well, this evening he's had plenty of them, but usually just one chance to find a goal. So they'll certainly fancy their chances of still keeping him on the field. Here's Harry Winks in the centre of the park for Spurs. Out to Tanganga. Tanganga finds Sanchez inside his own half. Højbjerg. Højbjerg to Davis. And Davis can, just about Maddison, putting pressure on Maddison, but will find Winks. Winks forward towards Doherty. Doherty heads it down towards Lucas Moura, but Vestergaard gets there first, and Tillemans heads it down to Dewsbury Hall. Dewsbury Hall out to Maddison, who will keep it alive. Good play from him, and he finds Lookman. Chance for Leicester to break forward now. Lookman running at the defence. Spurs getting bodies back though. Lookman into the area. Daka takes it in, and in the end he's crowded out well ready by Davis. But against Leicester though, they're starting to come forward a little bit better now.
They are. They're moving the ball with a bit more pace in their counter-attacking play. Although then when Lookman is in around that area, he only has Daka in support. Maddison, Dewsbury Hall and Tielemans aren't offering enough going forward for any real support for the two strikers. So they're very isolated at the moment. And there, Daka was just completely shrouded out as Kane goes for goal again from long range, 35, 40 yards out. He's getting slightly closer with them, but still over the bar.
Well, you tell Harry Kane wants plenty of goals. He's got plenty of them in his career against Leicester, but he's only got one so far. But his shooting was on point all night. He could have had about 4 or 5 this evening, in truth. It looks like Leicester already. Harvey Barnes looks like he might be coming on in a moment for the Foxes. He would be the obvious change looking at the bench. Harvey Barnes, of course, a very talented player, the English winger. Chance for him to maybe impress Gareth Southgate in the final 20 minutes. Barnes, a player always been on the outskirts of an England call-up, but with the strength and depth we have going forward England, it's very hard to break into that forward line these days. A ball up by Schmeichel, headed back by Højbjerg. Soyuncu gets there ahead of Kane, flicked on by Dewsbury Hall. Tanganga's clearance isn't the best. Maddison goes forward towards Daka. Daka finds Tillemans. Maddison. And Maddison out to Albrighton. Had a fine game, the veteran. Not usually a right back, but he's played there this evening and had done a pretty good showing. We thought he was going to go off for James Justin in the end, though it was Luke Thomas who made way. Spurs are also readying a change. Can't quite think that might well be Lo Celso who's ready to come on in a moment. Chowdhury to Soyuncu. The Turkish defender goes back to Chowdhury. Soyuncu to Vestergaard, who finds James Justin. If I don't want to bring this up, James Justin did score an own goal though against Spurs in a 3-0 defeat at the end of the 1920s. He's not the stat you really want to hear on his return to action after a very long, lengthy injury. Chowdhury goes forward, does well, and wins a throw-in off Region. As for the changes, though, Barnes the obvious one for Leicester, and if it is Lo Celso, which it looks like it's going to be, probably the obvious one for Spurs as well, really, as both managers look to bring an attacking change to try and win the game.
Yeah, Lo Celso was one of 3 players to lose his spot from the starting lineup to the side that were defeated by Chelsea in the second leg of the League Cup, so maybe it is not surprising that he is entering the field of play. A fantastic midfielder on his day, really shores things up in the middle of the park. He's replacing Harry Winks, and now Barnes coming onto the field of play. I struggle to think of who he's actually going to come on for if he is going to maybe go up top. It looks like he is. He's replacing Patson Daka. Personally, I don't think that is the right decision. I probably would have brought him on for maybe Ademola Lookman if you're wanting to bring off one of the 2 strikers, but they've taken off the goal scorer, maybe just to preserve him for future games, considering he's the only really out-and-out striker that they've got.
Yeah, absolutely. A surprising one with Daka. Interesting who is going to go into that number 9 position now for Leicester. You'd assume Ademola Lookman, but an interesting one, really. But Daka's good work on the evening, of course, scoring the goal. Here is Lookman, who looks like he stayed on the left-hand side for now. Finds Dewsbury Hall, who finds Tillemans. Dewsbury Hall. Tillemans again. Tillemans goes to the route to Chowdhury, who finds Albrighton. Spurs with plenty of men back for now. Chowdhury, though, takes it away from Lucas Moura. Good play from him. Tillemans. Maddison round the corner into Barnes. First touch for Barnes. Goes to Maddison. Maddison to the area. Good chance. And it deflects in. And Leicester City have retaken the lead. And it looks like it is going to be James Maddison's goal. Well, that's kind of came out of nothing as well. But 15 minutes remaining. Leicester City 2, Tottenham Hotspur 1. A goal which really come from nothing, but a real show of what James Maddison's capable of.
You're having a habit now of Leicester scoring coming out of nothing whenever you're taking over from comms, and it's James Maddison this time. He's finally got on the score sheet, and well, it's his first real time he's had a foray into the area. This one less fortuitous than the first goal. It's a wonderful play by Harvey Barnes, his first involvement since coming on to the field of play. It's a cute reverse pass to put it behind Ben Davies and set off Maddison, who continued his run. The deflection wrong foots Lloris, and it's fortuitous in the sense that it comes off the inside the post before nesting in the back of the net. Leicester, they've got a late goal here. Can they hold on for the win?
Yes, another goal that's gone off the post. Of course, Leicester's first goal winning off the post as well with Daka in that one. I'm not sure if it will go down as an own goal or not, but I don't really think Leicester will care for now. They are 2-1 in front, and James Maddison on fine form recently, 4 goals, 3 assists in his last 6 league games before this one. If that does go down as his goal, it's another one for him, and see Brendan Rodgers and Kolo Touré sharing a hug on the sideline. This will be a big win for the Foxes, whose last Premier League game was a 1-0 win over Liverpool as well. So Leicester maybe starting to pick up a bit of second half of the season form, which unfortunately the last couple of seasons it has been their second half of the season form which ultimately let the Foxes down in their pursuit of Champions League football. Tottenham looking to respond. Davis finds Sanchez, and Sanchez still in possession, the Colombian. He finds Skip. It was Harry Winks, of course, who was taken off. So Harvey Bond's gone to the number 9 position for Leicester since coming on, by the way. It was Winks, though, who was taken off for Giovanni Lo Celso. Leicester win the ball back now. Dewsbury Hall, chance to play it forward to Lookman. Not the best ball, though, it's behind him, and Doherty will get there first. And he goes back to Tanganga, who can play it forward. It's taken down, though, by Vestergaard, and Leicester having a good spell of possession for now, Leicester. And for them, it'll just be a case of keeping
Bergwijn, Gilles, or of course Dele Alli to bring on to try and get that final goal. I can see they are getting a player description ready. I think it's Steven Bergwijn that's getting ready to come on, so we're not going to see Dele Alli this time around. I'd imagine he's going to come on for maybe one of the central midfielders. They might even bring off a defender and go to a flat back 4 just to have an extra attacker on the field. So I think there's going to be a lot of sitting back from Leicester, just absorbing pressure, which in fairness they've done a fair bit of over the course of this game, but they've ridden their luck a lot. So and when you begin to ride your luck, it's eventually it is going to run out.
Absolutely, it's a poor ball forward by Chowdhury. He's picked up by Lo Celso, so he finds Skip into Højbjerg, who goes forward. That's a poor ball from him, though, but he does get it back. Doherty forward towards Lo Celso, back to Doherty, into Kane. Kane turns, chance to maybe get a shot away, does, it's blocked, it falls to Doherty, it's saved by Schmeichel. I think Doherty might have been an offside position. The flag's not gone up, though, so it's a real good chance for the Irish fullback, who found himself in the right place, and Schmeichel was there, though, really close enough to him to make the save, but again, a little bit of a chance for Spurs.
Yes, he's very, very fortunate how it comes back to the Irish international after Kane's deflected shot falls to his path. He just never has enough time to actually get his effort out his feet. He may have been offside anyway, in all fairness. He just hits it first time on the swivel, doing what he can to get it on target, but Schmeichel has already come off his line to shut down the angle, so yeah, it's maybe could have done better, but it's maybe a little bit pernickety to think he should have scored.
Change for Spurs, an attacking one as well. Reguilón off, Bergwijn on, and it's going to Dewsbury Hall is down here for Leicester at the moment. There was a little bit of cramp, another fine showing by the Leicester midfielder, who was of course on loan at Luton Town last season, very much impressed in the Championship. But Bergwijn, no sign for Spurs a couple of years ago now. Bergwijn, he's a player I remember him very well, scoring on his debut home to Manchester City in a 2-0 win. He's a player who just looked the chance again. It's like Doherty might have actually been onside, by the way, looking at the replay. So it was a big chance missed, really, for Spurs. But as a Bergwijn, though, a player whose career's never really got going in North London.
No, it all looks so promising after that debut performance, of course. But then, ever since, he's struggled with maybe some injuries. His consistency in form has also been a big issue, and then also you've also got to think of just the talent of the players in and around his position. Lucas Moura and Heung-min Son in particular, the two players who are always going to be the main starters. So he's never been able to cement a starting 11 place. He's still very young. He's still got the rest of his career ahead of him. Whether a lot of that career is going to be in North London anytime soon, who knows? I can see him possibly leaving in the summer to maybe seek out more first team football. But yeah, it hasn't hit the heights that maybe he would have hoped.
Absolutely, it's Spurs in possession now, who have 10 minutes to go to try and find an equaliser at the King. They did come from 2-1 down to win this game 4-2 last season, so that's worth noting. Ball by Skips, too much on it though for Davis, and you saw Davis's frustration there running for it, but a little bit too much on it there, but the right idea from Skip.
Yes, not a bad idea at all by Skip, just gets his execution wrong. It was a decent little overlapping run by Ben Davies, who I imagine is going to move into left back, so Sanchez and Tanganga can make up that defensive two in the middle. But yeah, just never looked likely to get on the end of that. And with around 10 minutes to go, they really need to make sure these passes hit their intended target in order to give them the best possible chance of getting back into this game.
Absolutely, Madison did score the winner against Spurs back in September 2019 for the Foxes in what was a 2-1 win, but that might well be the case this evening as well. The goal on that 2019 occasion was far better, but Leicester will not care as long as they do get 3 points, as Højbjerg goes for a challenge, which ends up going back to Tanganga, who then finds Doherty. Doherty to Skip, whose ball though is cut out by Justin. And Justin can keep it alive, can he? As he won a throw in there, he has off Tanganga, and good play by James Justin. And Justin's been on the sidelines for nearly a year, just having this time in the team. He's got about 40 minutes in this game. It's going to be great for him to get his fitness up, and of course just to have a run out really against a good team like Spurs especially.
Oh, fantastic! It's a perfect test for him really, for him to get his running boots on, get that fitness up, and he's and really just to try and force his way back into the starting 11 of the Leicester side. I think once he gets back to full fitness, chances are he is going to be the first choice fullback, be it right or left. He's got that versatility. But yeah, considering he's had such a long time out, it's fantastic to see. And he was one of the main sort of long-term injuries that Leicester have had this season. Obviously, Wesley Fofana is the main one. Broke his leg in pre-season. He's out for the entirety of the season. We won't see him till next campaign, most likely at least. But yeah, it's great to see for the Foxes fans that Justin is back in the squad.
Maddison and Dewsbury Hall over a free kick. It will be Maddison's take. It's not a bad delivery either. It's Sanchez who has to clear away. Really good ball in that by Maddison. Tillemans gets it back forward again to Maddison. Takes it away from Lo Celso. He's caught there though by the Argentine. It's going to be another free kick for Leicester in another dangerous position. I don't really know why Lo Celso did that really.
No, so it's a lazy leg by the Argentine, just trying to do his best to win possession back, and he's just caught. Well, he's caught his knee, but for some reason Maddison clutches the back of his leg. So not the greatest play acting there from Maddison to say the least, but it was still a free kick, although a free kick was rather wasted. But they've won it back.
Tillemans with a chance. It's blocked by Sanchez. Never really convincing there, Tillemans. It was given away by Maddison, ironically. The eventual shot by Tillemans as it ricocheted to him was comfortably blocked, and it was on his left foot, and he was always leaning backwards. Doherty finds Lo Celso, and the Argentine gets it back from Højbjerg. Lo Celso to Skip. Skip out to Tanganga, who goes back to Sanchez. Spurs getting plenty of bodies forward now. It's Davis who has it, bringing it forward and finds Bergwijn, who lays it off to Lo Celso, out to Lucas Moura on the left-hand side. Lucas Moura crosses, not a bad ball. It's a Davis, and Schumacher with some good goalkeeping, punching away, and in the end Leicester can clear their lines, and it's ball forward as well. Oh, it hits Barnes on the back, and the attack breaks down. If he just let that bounce over him, he might well have been in there, Barnes, but Spurs coming forward again. Højbjerg to Lucas Moura, and Lucas Moura will go back to Højbjerg. Into Bergwijn. Bergwijn turns, goes down, and there's a bit of a appeal. Maybe lets Leicester eventually win the free kick. I don't really think Saunders does an awful lot wrong there in the area, but might be worth having a look at. And Maddison currently down injured again due to another foul, but half-hearted penalty appeal that was, it's fair to say.
Yeah, so we're going to have to see another replay of it as Boubakary Soumaré is getting ready to come on for Leicester as well. But my initial thought was that Bergwijn has thrown himself to the floor rather than him being thrown. So I think that it was the correct decision for play on. Maybe a little bit fortunate to avoid any booking there. Steven Bergwijn, he's just doing whatever he can to help his side, which of course you would expect with 6 minutes to go. You're losing. You want to try and get any edge you can in order to try and get back into this game. But no, that was definitely not the greatest attempt of conning the referee that I've seen.
Yeah, in terms of the Spurs, it doesn't get much easier for Spurs. They travel to Stamford Bridge to take on Chelsea at the weekend, in fact. Obviously Chelsea not on the greatest form right now, but always a tough game, and they have just been beaten by them in the Carabao Cup as well. So A loss of this will be Antonio Conte's first loss as Spurs manager. It's worth noting as well their last defeat, Spurs in the Premier League anyway, was a 3-0 defeat to Manchester United, which was Nuno Espirito Santo's last game as manager. Maddison takes some time off for now. Maddison, of course, like you say, did take a couple of knocks really in the last few moments. But he looks like he is going to be okay to come back on, but Samari is getting ready to come on for the Foxes. Schmeichel plays his kick forward, it's headed away by Sanchez. And Kane goes for it, and Kane fouls Justin. Maybe a little bit of frustration there by Harry Kane. Don't know why he's complaining for. He could see what he was doing there.
Yeah, I mean, Harry Kane's just frustrated. He's had plenty of chances to give Tottenham the lead on a multitude of occasions. His finishing hasn't always been up to scratch, and he's had a few unfortunate instances as well of hitting the bar and having one of his efforts cleared off the line. But yeah, it just hasn't really been his season of Harry Kane, and it's going to be a sorry trip back for him. It looks like, from what I gathered, Dewsbury Hall is the player that's going to come off, although he's remaining on the field for now. And also can confirm that United have taken the lead against Brentford via youngster Anthony Elanga.
Yes, Man United leading at the Brentford Community Stadium. Very much good for their top four hopes. Ball forward, Doherty heads away. And Bergwijn lays it off towards Højbjerg, who gets a touch out to Davis. The Spurs look to come forward to find a late equaliser. Davis goes out to Lucas Moura. Very playing much wide on the left for now, the Brazilian. He goes out to Tanganga. Langa's taking the United lead on the 55th minute. The Manchester United youngster. Sanchez.
United to deal with, but it just shows Brentford aren't in this game. I think Thomas Frank will be furious that his side have gone 1-0 down here. They really should have finished the game off in the first half, but they're now looking like they're slipping away from it.
Here's McTominay, 25 yards out, having a dip from range, and it's been shuffled wide by Lörsel.
Of occasions as well. That time he isn't fortunate enough to get away with it, and he's rightfully pulled up upon it, and he's quite fortunate to not get a yellow card either. We are now finally seeing this change as well for Leicester City, and Dewsbury Hall, who you've mentioned on a number of occasions today. Wonderful performance from him today. Yeah,
very good performance from Dewsbury Hall. Another one where he's been in fine form recently, the midfielder. I think he's a player who really benefit from having a season on loan, of course, at Luton Town, and Samari is the man coming on in the midfield. Samari usually does quite well when he plays as well. Been quite impressive what I have seen from the summer signing this season. And Schmeichel takes the free kick for Leicester inside his 18-yard box. He goes forward. It will be headed away by Doherty. Bergwijn on to Kane. Højbjerg backpedaling, takes it down well on his chest, and his ball forward, it's poor, and Justin will get there first and find Maddison, who right now is the match winner. Justin, Samare's first touch to go back to Justin, who gives it away. Skip now finds Højbjerg. Doherty inside his own half, and he finds Davinson Sanchez, who did score a late goal, as I mentioned, in Spurs' last Premier League game. It was a 96-minute winner away at Watford, and how Spurs could do with a late equaliser in this one. Ball forward to Bergwijn. Bergwijn turns well, but in the end he's crowded out by plenty of Leicester players, and Albrighton, who's had a fine showing at right back, plays it forward. Højbjerg gets there first over ahead of Barnes and plays it back to Tanganga. Clock not on Spurs' side though right now, nearly 89 minutes played. Tanganga finds Højbjerg. See Conte directing orders from the touchline. Here is Lucas Moura. Looking to get a cross in, he does, it's deflected, but Leicester got not the most convincing clearance from him, but Maddison will help it on to Justin, and Leicester right now defending pretty comfortably. Justin brings it clear, and we'll find Barnes, who's up there alone at the moment. He's gone up against Sanchez, and Tanganga does well though. Barnes into the area, really good play. Harvey Barnes, great block though, coming across by Højbjerg, but really good play by Barnes to get away from his man, and looked like for a moment he was going to open his body up and score.
Yeah, fantastic dribbling by Harvey Barnes to get through the tightest of gaps between Sanchez and Tanganga. Opens up in front of him. He takes too long to get a shot away, and he takes so long to the point that Lookman is in acres of space to his right, and that actually might have been the better option. Instead, he still pursues and tries to go for goal. In the end, it's a good block by Ben Davies, but Barnes has got to do better there.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a right ball to him as well by Justin, and he obviously up against two players. Barnes, it may look easy getting away from him, really, but in the end, I say Luckman was definitely the better. I don't know why I didn't square it to Luckman. It's in acres of room, and in the end, it kind of when it came to nothing. But good defending. It's got to give credit to Ben Davies for what was some good defending coming across. Well, the 90 minutes on, that was Højbjerg, in fact, my apologies, who got across and made the block. Well, the 90 minutes are up at the King Power Stadium, and all eyes will be on the fourth official to see how much he does indicate. 5 added minutes, so 5 minutes for Leicester to hang. I'm not really sure where them 5 minutes have come from, to be honest.
No, I'm trying to think back.
And here is Tillemans, who wins it and will play out to the right-hand side as well to Luckman. Luckman to Albrighton on the overlap. Chance to play a ball in. He does choose that option. Finds Maddison in the area. Maddison cuts the pass with left foot back onto his right. And the ball in nearly halfway. It's a shot originally, was deflected and nearly fell to Barnes. And a chance for Spurs to break. Bergwijn finds Kane. Kane running forward now. He's got options. It's a really poor ball in the end, but it's still going to find its way to Lucas Moura. Chowdhury couldn't get there first. Lucas Moura lays it off to Skip. It's not the best ball from him. Skip going to have to try and play one into the area. He goes all the way back out to Lucas Moura, but Chowdhury will get there first. And not the best ball by Kane in the build. They're a better ball to Lucas Moura, and he might well have been in.
Yeah, it was the right idea of the pass, but the execution just wasn't there at all. And then they're just doing whatever they could just to pump the ball forward, and they didn't really take their time to compose themselves to actually release the pass. So the attack really broken down purely down to individual errors.
And then Barnes running at the Spurs defence again, but he holds the ball up well for now. Barnes not usually a number 9, but he's certainly doing a good job in that role at the moment. And Justin finds Tillemans, who goes back to Justin, whose return right now is going to be a winning one. He came on about 5 minutes into the second period, and he is going to make a winning return to the Leicester side. So Unchu goes back to Schmeichel, who clears the ball upfield from inside his own 18-yard box. Ben Davies heads away. Ben Davies' 250th appearance for Spurs is going to be marked with a defeat by the looks of it. Albrighton goes towards Luckman, but the ball goes off his foot and out of play. James Maddison, no, he's been in fine form, and if Gareth Southgate as well watching at the King Power Stadium, as we saw earlier, it's what you want to do for you, James Maddison, really. If you have any chance to break into the England team, you've got to impress on a regular basis, and right now, Maddison's doing that.
Yeah, he's doing whatever he can. I mean, the unfortunate thing for Maddison really is that the sort of player he is, we have so many players in that sort of position, particularly currently in form as well. You're looking at the likes of Emile Smith-Rowe and Conor Gallagher in particular, some of the two prime examples as Højbjerg goes for goal and is well blocked by Maddison. But this performance is not going to do his chances of getting into Southgate's next squad any harm whatsoever.
And Spurs have a free kick as well, and they could get this into the area. They've actually taken it quickly, in fact, and Lo Celso goes out wide to Lucas Moura. Just about 2 minutes of stoppage time to play. Davis brings it forward. Goes into Bergwijn. Bergwijn turns into Lo Celso, and the wicked ball just wouldn't fall for him. And Söyüncü gets their first ball cleared. Maddison can't control. Tanganga out to Doherty. Doherty plays one in, he fizzes it in, but it's going to be cleared away by Tillemans, and Maddison can complete the clearance. Here's Davinson Sanchez. And he's looking for options. He finds Davis just inside the D. Davis plays it forward. Kane, Højbjerg into Bergwijn, and it just would not fall for him. His touch, he was off balance as well. Always pushed over after poor reaction by Bergwijn, and he might well see red here if he has made contact with the face of Söyüncü. He's definitely going. It's actually going to be a yellow card, which is surprising, but if there was contact with the face, it surely had to be a red. Yeah,
that would have been my thought. We're going to have to see a replay of it. Söyüncü reacts badly to Bergwijn going down. He's saying he's dived. Bergwijn, there's no contact to the face. It's a forceful shove down. So I think that is what saves Bergwijn there. And Söyüncü, he makes a meal of it. But it is very aggressive from the Dutchman. I think I saw Jonathan Moss also getting his yellow card out from his pocket to book another player as well, maybe Söyüncü for his reaction as well, but he throws himself down, you've got to say, the Turkish defender.
And he also holds his face afterwards as well, which made me think it was contact to the face. Was anything but really from Bergwijn. Söyüncü made the most of it, but frustration from Bergwijn, it's fair to say, as his side all losing. I'm not even sure he was trying to win a penalty, I just think he was off balance. Manchester United have doubled their lead at the Brentford Community Stadium, and Mason Greenwood has scored his first goal since October for the Red Devils, so they're well on their way to 3 points right now. But here's Kane to Lucas Moura. The Spurs look to rescue a point in the final few seconds. Ball forward towards Doherty. Chance for Doherty, takes it down, and it falls down, it's in! And Spurs have equalised right at the death, and it's Bergwijn, and it's 2-2. Oh, heartbreak for Leicester, but the ball forward towards Doherty, it just ricocheted to Bergwijn, who, well, moments ago we thought could have saw red. It turns out he might well be the man who's earned Spurs a point.
Well, that is so harsh on Leicester. Right at the death, they just couldn't hold on. Long ball forward, I think, by Højbjerg. Doherty clearly onside, played on by both Justin and Soyuncu. Chest it down, Soyuncu got the block in, but it falls so kindly to Bergwijn. And the way it drops, you know he's going to hit the back of the net. He just rifles it, puts all his power and venom into it, and there's absolutely nothing that Schmeichel can do about that. It's heartbreak for Leicester, but Tottenham live to fight another day, and they're still without a loss under Antonio Conte.
Yes, in the Premier League they remain unbeaten. It just fell so kindly to Bergwijn in the end, and you saw Conte's celebrations, but Spurs players immediately trying to get the ball back. They want a winner here. I'm not sure they'll have enough time to do that now, but heartbreak for Leicester. They've worked so hard for this as well, but in the end it looks like they're going to fall short. But it's Leicester who have possession now with Tielemans, who brings it forward. He's giving it away though to Højbjerg. There might be one last chance for an attack for Spurs. The ball forward. Bergwijn might be in, and Bergwijn is in. He's round the goalkeeper. It's Bergwijn, and he's in the post. It's gone in. I cannot believe it. Spurs have done it. It's 3-2. Wow. From 10 seconds or so away from defeat, Bergwijn rounds the keeper. His shot goes in off the post. Wow, what an ending to this game. Phenomenal at the King Power Stage. You see the celebrations. Lloris has joined them as well. Wow, what an ending. One of the great Premier League endings in recent memory. And Bergwijn, well, a hero from the bench. You know, look at the January transfer window. He's linked with the move away. This might well have saved his top. It's definitely onside. He does really well to take it round Schmeichel. And argue Schmeichel could have came a little bit earlier. You can't argue with the finish either. It's a really good one. Goes in off the post, and speechless. What an ending.
That you took the words right out of my mouth. I am absolutely speechless by that ending, and it's all come again from an individual error from Leicester. Tielemans' pass is really poor, and the way Tottenham break is absolutely fantastic. The pass from Harry Kane, inch perfect, and Bergwijn, he's composed, rounds the goalkeeper. Yes, he's rather stumbles with it with his effort, but it comes off the post, gets his fortune, and ends up over the line. What an ending to this game. And Tottenham, they've created so many chances in this game. You've got to say, maybe on that balance of play, it's deserved. What an unbelievable finish.
Absolutely. I mean, it looked like they were literally seconds away from losing. I was convinced Leicester were going to get the win, and we said Spurs wanted a winner. I didn't think they'd have enough time to do so. But wow, and Brendan Rodgers, his face, and that's the full-time whistle has even blown, and that was the very last action. Well, James Maddison put Leicester 2-1 in front with 50 minutes ago. We thought that was going to be the winning goal, but Steven Bergwijn, 2 goals in about a minute in stoppage time to win the game for Spurs. Spurs remain unbeaten under Antonio Conte in the Premier League. Final score, Leicester City 2, Tottenham Hotspur 3.
By Højbjerg. Doherty clearly onside, played on by both Justin and Soyuncu. Chest it down, Soyuncu got the block in, but it falls so kindly to Bergwijn, and the way it drops, you know he's going to hit the back of the net. He just rifles it, puts all his power and venom into it, and there's absolutely nothing that Schmeichel can do about that. It's heartbreak for Leicester, but Tottenham live to fight another day, and they're still without a loss under Antonio Conte.
Yes, in the Premier League they remain unbeaten. It just fell so kindly to Bergwijn in the end, and you saw Conte's celebrations, but Spurs players immediately trying to get the ball back. They want a winner here. I'm not sure they'll have enough time to do that now, but heartbreak for Leicester. They've worked so hard for this as well, but in the end it looks like they're going to fall short. But it's Leicester who have possession now with Tielemans, who brings it forward. He's giving it away though to Højbjerg. There might be one last chance for an attack for Spurs. The ball forward. Bergwijn might be in, and Bergwijn is in. He's round the goalkeeper. It's Bergwijn, and he's in the post. It's gone in. I cannot believe it. Spurs have done it. It's 3-2. Wow. From 10 seconds or so away from defeat, Bergwijn rounds the keeper. His shot goes in off the post. Wow, what an ending to this game. Phenomenal at the King Power Stage. You see the celebrations. Lloris has joined them as well. Wow, what an ending. One of the great Premier League endings in recent memory. And Bergwijn, well, a hero from the bench. You know, look at the January transfer window. He's linked with the move away. This Matt will have saved his top. It's definitely onside. He does really well to take it round Schumacher. And argue Schumacher could have came a little bit earlier. You can't argue with the finish either. It's a really good one. Goes in off the post and speechless. What an ending.
That you took the words right out of my mouth. I am absolutely speechless by that ending, and it's all come again from an individual error from Leicester. Tielemans' pass is really poor, and the way Tottenham break is absolutely fantastic. The pass from Harry Kane, inch perfect. But yes, he's just gets his foot in this game. You've got to say maybe on that bounce finish.
Absolutely. I mean, it looked like they were literally seconds away from losing. I was convinced Leicester were going to get the win, and we said Spurs wanted a winner. I didn't think they'd have enough time to do so. But wow, and Brendan Rodgers, his face, and that's the full-time whistle has even blown, and that was the very last action. Well, James Maddison put Leicester 2-1 in front with 50 minutes ago. We thought that was going to be the winning goal, but Steven Bergwijn, 2 goals in about a minute in stoppage time to win the game for Spurs. Spurs remain unbeaten under Antonio Conte in the Premier League. Final score, Leicester City 2, Tottenham Hotspur 3.
By Højbjerg, Doherty clearly